brought Miami back from a 28-0 deficit, then led a game-winning drive, which resulted in Andy Crossland's 30-yard field goal with 3 seconds left on the clock. It gave the Hurricanes an improbable 31-28 victory and evened their record at 3-3. Well, the West Virginia Mountaineers, well, they've always given Miami a tough time. Last year at Morgantown, Bulk Bolger shredded the Hurricanes' pass defense, though the Canes won it by 3. It's Miami and West Virginia today on Sports Channel. From the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, Sports Channel presents Miami Hurricane football. Today, it's a Big East clash as the Hurricanes host the Mountaineers of West Virginia. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Fort with my partner, John Congemi, back here at the Orange Bowl, where Miami hasn't played a home game in just about a month. Good to be back home, but, John, the Hurricanes come in with some concerns, specifically the health of quarterback Kenny Kelly, who led that great comeback last week at Boston College, but turned an ankle in the process, and up to this moment, we still don't know if he's going to be able to play.
Yeah, the greatest fear for this Miami offense and Butch Davis's team is the play at quarterback and the health of the quarterback, Kenny Kelly. It will be a game-time decision, but Kenny Kelly has set it on fire the last 2 weeks, 47 of 77 for 588 yards, 6 touchdowns to only 1 interception. Last week, he was 20 of 36 for 218 yards. He does a great job, and Ken Dorsey's the freshman. He's only had limited time against FAMU. You see 4 of 12 for 44 yards and a touchdown, but it's Kenny Kelly's experience on the outside as well as in the pocket the last couple of weeks that has really paid dividends for this Hurricane offense. They desperately need him at quarterback.
And Miami has not started a true freshman at quarterback since the 1970s. Well, whoever quarterbacks, they're going to be comforted to know they have one of the best tight ends in the country in Bubba Franks, who is much more involved in the offense this year than he was last year.
Yeah, big tight end, 6'6", 260 pounds. You see last week, 6 receptions for 78 yards. Of course, that 1 big touchdown that tied the football game. Bubba's a huge frame, 22 catches on the year for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. But it's his elusiveness on the outside. He's at 6'6". He can lower a shoulder or he can make you miss in the defensive secondary. He has great presence, and he opens up the field for Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne. And then down in the plus territory, when you want to score, you look for double snowman that you say, Frank. You love to see that guy catching the ball for touchdowns.
No doubt about it. There's another great tight end in this game in West Virginia's Anthony Becht. Very similar size, very similar numbers to Frank's.
Yeah, both 6'6", both 260. They can get it done on the inside. You see Becht's numbers, 21 receptions for 267 yards and 3 touchdowns. Both the main targets, when you take a look inside the hash, is going down the field. Quarterbacks loves to see those big targets going down the field.
And on the defensive side of the ball, you have 2 of the best will linebackers or weak side linebackers in the country. First, Miami's Dan Morgan, who's a Butkus Award semifinalist.
Well, they can both beat you with speed, Frank, and toughness. Dan Morgan has been plagued with that hamstring injury. He still has 58 total tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles. He can make you pay on the inside. Just when you least expect it, he'll come up with the big play as he did last week against BC on the inside shovel pass. Nowhere for Washington to run. Dan Morgan was on top of it, and then he can circle the wagons too, come and beat you with his speed. Comes right up through the Garden Center gap and makes a big play, another tackle for a loss.
And Miami's got to do a much better job against the running game this week. On the other side of the football, West Virginia with 21 South Florida kids, including their weak side linebacker, Barrett Green, the top tackler with 83.
Talk about a guy that's around the football. Barrett Green, 83 total tackles. That's huge. That's a big number. 2 sacks, 2 pass breakups. He also can beat you with speed, Frank. Both teams at the linebacker spot have tremendous speed from sideline to sideline.
And as poor a job as Miami did defending the run last week, at least in the first half, West Virginia gives up over 200 yards per game on the ground. That is where Miami hopefully can attack the Mountaineers. We'll be back with the opening kickoff from the Orange Bowl. It's Miami and West Virginia coming up next. Miami Hurricanes football on Sports Channel is being brought to you in part by Office Depot. Business is crazy, but Office Depot makes sense. By Mercedes. Visit your South Florida Mercedes-Benz Center today. By the Cleveland Clinic, because everyone deserves world-class care. By Nextel, how business gets done. Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9. And by AutoNation USA. It's about change, it's about time. Back at the Orange Bowl, Big East football, it's West Virginia against number 23 Miami. The Mountaineers at 3-4, Miami at 3-3. coming off that incredible comeback last week against Boston College. It is now bright and sunny at the Orange Bowl with a breeze coming out of the east. That'll be right to left as you watch your screen. West Virginia won the toss and deferred, so Miami will kick off and they'll have the football going toward the open end of the stadium. Aaron Mosier, one of the deep receivers for Miami, along with Edward Reed, seeing his first action on kickoff returns. Jarrett Payton, who was put on the kick return team last week, has been called back home to Chicago. Reports out of Chicago is that his father, Walter, perhaps has taken a turn for the worst. There's no real definitive word, but of course, Walter Payton suffering from a rare liver disease, and Jarrett Payton was called home earlier this week and is with his father and his family in Chicago. Jay Taylor, the West Virginia kicker, will boot it away. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. With the wind at his back, Taylor booms it deep and out of the end zone. Pretty stiff breeze coming from the east, right to left. And Miami will start 1st and 10 from their own 20. And we'll see who steps onto the field at quarterback for the Hurricanes. They're going to huddle on the sideline, and it appears, John, that Kenny Kelly is the guy with the helmet on and the man who will start the football game. And that's got to be the biggest concern for Butch Davis in this offense of Miami, trying to move the football with an injured Kenny Kelly. Kenny Kelly, you see his stats right there, 99 of 175 for 1,271 yards, and much improved in the touchdown-interception ratio, 11 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions. And we see already a new wrinkle for Miami, huddling on the sideline, John, before the first play of a possession. 1st and 10 with Fulcher, and Clinton Portis is getting the start at tailback. Kelly with play action. Throwing deep down for Santana Moss and overthrows him at the West Virginia 40-yard line. Perlo Bastine had the coverage, and Kelly did take a hit from Mark Thurston as he got rid of the football. Let's take a look at the Miami offense. And it is going to be Portis instead of Jackson at tailback. A late change for Miami there. Wide receivers, Daniel Franks, much more involved in the offense, had 6 catches last week against Boston College. And on the offensive front, Martin Bibla was raved about this week by offensive line coach Art Kehoe. Says he's playing great football and is going to be a great offensive guard before he's done at UM. 2nd and 10 for the Hurricanes. Portis the only running back as Miami goes with the double tight end formation. 3-step drop, complete to Wayne. Wayne trying to go around Nate Terry, gets it up to just past the 25-yard line. It'll bring a 3rd and a short 5 for the Hurricanes. Frank, I noticed in the beginning when they huddled on the sidelines, as we see a West Virginia player down on the sideline, looked like the cornerback that came up and made the play on Reggie Wayne was down. Looked like Nate Terry, number 28, possibly down for the Mountaineers. What I did notice, Frank, on the sidelines was that Miami huddled on the sideline and took in the first play. That's exactly what Boston College did to them last week and gave fits to the Miami offense on 1st down, trying to match up formation to formation offensively and defensively. And I think what works against you may work for you this week. Let's take a look at the West Virginia defense as they line up to start the game. Ryan Brady leads the front 3. He's got 3 sacks. Very active group of linebackers. Chris Edmonds has 5 sacks to lead the team, 5 sacks to lead the team. Barrett Green is a very good one. And in the defensive backfield, the local product Gary Tompkins, the strong safety, having a very good year with 5 pass breakups and a block kick to his credit. As they continue to work on Nate Terry, the youngster out of Homestead, Florida, the senior. Let's take another look at it. It was just a quick hitch to Reggie Wayne. And I believe Terry got run over by one of his own guys and his knee twisted under the pile. Yeah, it looked like just a one-step route by number 87, Reggie Wayne on the outside. You see Terry coming in. It just looked like they got tangled up. Their legs got tangled up, but you really couldn't see anything definitive there. But he does go down and holding his right shoulder, it looked like almost, Frank. Well, there's nothing definitive you could tell by that replay, but they are taking Nate Terry off to the locker room, and they will check him out further there. Could be an elbow. Yeah. Dislocated elbow, perhaps. That's just speculation, but the way he's holding it, it looks like an elbow injury. Or as you said, John, possibly a shoulder. Sometimes if the shoulder separates, you've got to keep that arm up at a 90-degree angle. And Terry, he was very active out of that cornerback position. He had 21 total tackles on the year and 1 interception for the Mountaineer defense. Not only that, but he had a kick return last week for a touchdown against Temple, as West Virginia also needed a late field goal to survive an upset bid, and they beat Temple 20-17 a week ago. Miami going with the green uniforms for the first time this year. This is a 3rd jersey, as it were, an alternate jersey they unveiled last year. Which is a personal favorite of ours. I definitely like these things. It'll be 3rd and 5 as they spot the ball right at the 25-yard line as we return to play. Just underway first quarter, 14:36 to go. And Miami's opening possession of the game An incomplete pass on the first play and a 5-yard completion to Reggie Wayne on the second. So they're letting Kenny throw the ball right away, John. You thought Miami might come out and try to establish the run with, Kelly's mobility in question. And I think we're going to see Ken Dorsey in this game one way or the other. Yeah, that's my gut feeling.
I think so too, Frank. But I think Butch Davis wanted to do was not get them in a 3rd and 8 or 9, maybe complete a pass like they did on second down. Go for the home run on first down, get a 3rd and medium so really West Virginia can't put 8, 9 guys on the line of scrimmage and come after an immobile Kenny Kelly, maybe give them a little bit more variety on 3rd down.
They sent Santana Moss deep on the first play, and just as a little bit of news, Santana Moss this week was named as one of 10 semifinalists for the Biletnikoff Award, which is given to college football's #1 top receiver.
Which is well deserved.
Very good honor for Santana just to make it to that cut of 10. Moss wears number 6. He is the Hurricanes' major deep threat. He'll be in the slot right with Reggie Wayne and Andre King also in the ball game at wide receiver. Miami goes with their diamond package, 3 wide receivers, and Kelly will operate out of the shotgun on a 3rd and 5. Blitz coming, and that ball is short, and Wayne ran a takeoff, and Kenny thought he was going to check the pattern. So Miami will be forced to punt. We saw that last week early in the game, John, where it looked like Kenny and the receivers weren't on the same page against certain things. And you see Wayne and Kelly talking it over because Reggie ran sort of a hitch and go, and Kenny threw the hitch.
Well, both the receiver and the quarterback on a blitz adjustment need to see the same exact things, and that's the type of thing you see with a quarterback that maybe is used to moving and can't move. He wants to get rid of the football knowing that he can't get out of the pocket.
Freddie Capshaw to kick. Antonio Brown out of Miami Central High School standing at the West Virginia 33. Capshaw will kick against the wind. Good snap from Del Vecchio. Plenty of time. Capshaw hangs it up in the wind. Brown will let it bounce, and it'll go out of bounds at the West Virginia 44-yard line. That's where Miami will start 1st and 10. A 31-yard punt for Freddie Capshaw into the wind. So Mark Bulger will lead the West Virginia Mountaineers onto the field. Bulger, tremendous quarterback, having a so-so year. He lost a lot of his people, his entire offensive line, and he broke a finger early in the season and just returned last week. You can see the little wrap on his right index finger.
Yeah, and his numbers, as you said, not Mark Bulger-like, and as West Virginia lines up right on the line of scrimmage, they also will huddle on the sideline to start series.
On 1st and 10, Bulger gives it to Avon Coburn, who has a hole. Coburn across midfield, and Marquise Fitzgerald makes the tackle, but Coburn picked up almost 13 and a 1st down.
Frank, we talk about the diminutive size of Avon Coburn. He's 5'8", 190 pounds. He's only a freshman, a lot like Amos Zaraway used to be. He'd hide behind those big West Virginia Mountaineer offensive linemen there. He's just bust out of the middle, springs out of the backfield, and gets a 1st down on the first play of the game for the Mountaineer offense.
West Virginia now with 4 wide receivers in. And Bulger out of the shotgun. Quick drop. Pass is caught, and this is going to be a touchdown. It's Jerry Porter who made the catch as the Miami safety went for the interception and didn't get it.
Wow, just a bad angle by Ed Reed. That Miami had it played perfectly. A fade route to the outside versus cover 2. Which means a press cornerback and a safety man on the hash. The only way you can beat that is if you hold that safety on the hash. But Ed Reed made a terrific break on the football, but the ball beat him to Porter, and Porter, all he had to do was concentrate on the body going by him, the ball coming to his hands, and sprint into the end zone for the Mountaineer touchdown.
Well, Butch Davis can't be happy with that. A bad start for the Hurricanes as Jay Taylor will attempt the extra point, and he knocks it through. And with 13:35 left to go first quarter, West Virginia with the touchdown reception by Jerry Porter leads it 7-0.
Now with Bell South Fast Access Internet Service. Faster downloads. Another solution with Bell South Nova.
Get away with more in the Mazda 626 LX V6. Get away with the control of a powerful V6 engine. Get away with the lowest priced Japanese brand sedan with the performance of a V6. A V6 that makes every mile feel like you're in hot pursuit. Get away with a longer warranty than Toyota or Honda. Get away in the Mazda 626 LX V6. And right now, with $22.50 cash back, get away with even more.
Where you choose to go to college is an important decision, and the University of Miami has some distinct advantages. Private, selective, comprehensive, challenging, medium-sized, research, location, scholarship, diversity, value. Take advantage of all we have to offer. The University of Miami.
There's your touchdown catcher, Jerry Porter, who just 3 games ago was converted from defensive back to wide receiver, and he burns the Hurricanes for a 43-yard touchdown, but really a bad play by Edward Reed.
Yeah, terrible judgment of the football. It looks like Edward Reed has his head on the football and then tries to go for the knockout shot, but he doesn't realize that Porter's already by him. Jerry Porter has great speed on the outside, as you said, Frank, converted from a defensive back, a safety, but the ball just beats Ed Reed to the outside. It just keeps carrying. Porter goes up to make the catch and sprints in untouched for the Mountaineer touchdown.
Ed Reed back to receive the kickoff with Aaron Mosier. As you look at Jerry Porter and the scoring drive from West Virginia, just 2 plays. That's all it took, 31 seconds.
One of the offensive coaches, Doc Holliday, for the Mountaineers, talking with him before the football game, said of Jerry Porter, he probably will get drafted as a receiver. He's that good of a talent just because of his vertical leap and his speed. He'll run a 4.3 or 4.4. He's a great athletic talent and probably will get drafted as a receiver, only playing there half a season.
Senior out of Washington, D.C. Taylor again with the wind at his back. Hangs it up into the wind. And Reed has it at the goal line. Reed got away from one, but will reach only the 15-yard line before he is snowed under by West Virginia tacklers. Jason Davis, number 10, and Scooter Davis, number 23, among the tacklers. So Miami will start 1st and 10 from their 15. Well, John, last week we saw Miami off to an incredibly slow start. They did not play well on either side of the ball. As a result, found themselves down 21-0 at halftime, 28-0 in the 3rd quarter, and rallied to win it. But now you've got Kenny Kelly, who, obviously is not going to be 100% with that ankle. And you don't want to fall behind West Virginia, a hungry team at 3-4, looking to find some success, and a team that beat Miami 2 years ago here in the Orange Bowl. James Jackson in at tailback. He stands in the I formation, and it's Jackson with the football. Jackson will get almost 5. Kyle Caden, the middle linebacker, making the tackle. That's what I think Miami has to do, John. Really establish that running game, because West Virginia is the worst team in the Big East statistically against the run and in overall yardage given up.
Especially with James Jackson. You see there 4.4 yards per carry and 6 touchdowns, although he is not 100%. I do agree with you. That offensive line needs to take control of the game early and beat up on the Mountaineers up front. That'll help Kenny Kelly later in the football game.
Double wide receiver to the top of the screen. Double tight end to the right side of the formation, and Jackson the only back. On a 2nd and 5, Kelly under pressure, got rid of it, and that ball flutters out there, incomplete. Pressure coming from the backside from Mark Thurston, the Miami High product, who beat Joaquin Gonzalez around the corner.
Well, Thurston comes into the football game with 3 quarterback pressures, make that 4. He comes from the backside. And as a quarterback, you have a 2-receiver route to the short side. You need to have a clock in your head. That ball has to be gone because there's only a certain amount of time that offensive line can keep out linebackers rushing from the edge. And you see a concerned Butch Davis early in this football game. 2 3rd and 5s, now a 3rd and 7 here in their 2nd series.
I take it back. It was Greg LaFair who could not get the job done on Thurston, not Gonzalez. It was the left offensive tackle, LaFair. On 3rd down, Moss in motion. Kelly has to run. Just throws it away. He had nobody out there. Wayne and Moss were both well covered. It looked, I think, John, like it was going to be sort of a variation of a wide receiver screen to Santana Moss, but it looked like West Virginia was in man on that side of the field.
That's exactly right. What happened was Moss, the motion man coming from the Miami sideline to the West Virginia, actually ran into the rushing defender from West Virginia, number 41. It looked like Chris Edmonds, and actually through the timing of the play away, that was a good play by Kenny Kelly of just throwing the football away and not taking the hit or the sack.
Capshaw in the kick, standing at his 6-yard line. Antonio Brown at his 35. And again, against the wind, West Virginia should get good field position. Capshaw with time, off the side of his foot, but takes a good hurricane roll inside the West Virginia 40, and it will be down at the 39-yard line. So the Mountaineers start there, 1st and 10. John, Miami not off to a very good start. No rhythm offensively, as we saw again last week. That was a 42-yard kick by Capshaw, by the way.
Yeah, that was definitely the problem last week against BC. The defense came out really with no emotion. The only guy running sideline to sideline was 44, Dan Morgan, and he's closer to 100%. But the offense, they set the tone for the game of getting the rhythm of the game. If the defense isn't going to do it, one of the teams, special teams, offense or defense, needs to go against his Don Nehlen coach team and set the tone for the Hurricanes.
1st and 10 Mountaineers at their 39. Coburn and Anthony Green in the I formation behind Bulger. And Matt Sweeney jumped into the neutral zone. So our referee today, Dennis Hennigan, heading the Big East crew. And it appears that will cost Miami 5, and Sweeney immediately pulled out of the game by defensive line coach Greg Mark. All right, we couldn't hear that. I don't think you could at home either, but it's offside on Miami.
And that's something, Frank, that hurt them against BC last week. A couple offsides or actually procedures in the neutral zone on that defense on crucial special teams play, on a field goal early and on a short yardage play that gave them 14 points early in that first quarter.
1st and 5, West Virginia now at their 44. Bulger gives it to Coburn. Coburn with a lot of room. Coburn in midfield and cut down by Edward Reed as he reaches the Miami 45-yard line. But that is a West Virginia first down as he picked up almost 10.
Well, credit that West Virginia offensive line, Frank. They're moving people around up front.
Let's take a look at West Virginia's offense. Avon Coburn, the freshman out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The Mountaineers' leading rusher. Antonio Brown out of Miami, 39 catches on the year. And the offensive front, led by the big offensive tackle Tanner Russell out of Princeton, West Virginia, 310 pounds, 6'8". 1st and 10 Mountaineers at the Miami 45. Play fake, Bulger. Quick out, complete. And that ball caught by Antonio Brown at the Miami 38-yard line. It's a gain of 7. Mike Rumpf had the coverage for the Hurricanes. Take a look at Miami's defense. Led up front, William Joseph, who had a very nice game at Boston College last week. The freshman really starting to come on strong. The linebackers, Nate Webster did not have a good game at BC, and he needs to play much better today. And Edward Reed, the defensive back, but he was burned on the first touchdown today. 2nd and short for West Virginia. Coburn with the football. Ed Reed had him for a minute. Coburn spun out of the tackle. And then Lewis, Morgan, and Webster all make the tackle right at the first down marker. It appears, though, that Coburn got enough for a first.
Frank, we were talking about Coburn in the open and actually watching him warm up. We saw how small he was at 5'8", and you said with the size of this offensive line, it's really a type of, they want to play hide and go seek really with the tailback. He squirts out of nowhere and gets yardage. Take a look at this big West Virginia Mountaineer offensive line. They're pushing bodies around. You see the great down block from right to left, and then Coburn just springs out. You see Webster on the tackle along with 20 Ed Reed, but not until he gets a first down.
Bulger checking off as Miami showed blitz. And now Adrian Wilson jumps into the neutral zone.
And I believe he'll be coming out of the game.
Yeah, he is. Matt Sweeney's going in. John, again, we talked about it last week. This is a lack of focus. It's a lack of concentration.
Well, it's tough to go offsides.
Offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Frank, I've never played on defensive line, nor would I want to, but it has to be tough to go offsides when you're watching the football. You're the man right over the center. You don't listen to the quarterback. You're watching the football, and you're watching what's around you, and you see right there, that's something that they're going into this game. It's definitely a game plan by Bulger using his cadence.
1st and 5, West Virginia. Bulger gives to Coburn. Coburn with some room. Across the 20. Coburn still going. Shoved out of bounds by Mike Rumpf at the 13. Miami's defense hasn't made a positive play yet. And it's not a big crowd at the Orange Bowl, and I don't know if that's part of the problem, John. The Hurricanes are having to manufacture their own emotion, their own excitement. They just haven't done it.
Well, they're not doing it early in football games. Take a look at this offensive line. You see a big hole right up the gut. They're just gaping holes. You don't want to see that as a defensive coach. And a great stiff arm by Coburn on Ed Reed on the outside. You see Mike Rumpf coming over to make the tackle, but that ball's on the 13-yard line, and West Virginia's looking to score again.
Coburn. This time he's hammered. Dan Morgan in the hole along with Michael Barreau, and no gain there.
Well, that time Michael Barreau came in from the outside. He fought off Anthony Green, the fullback of the Mountaineers, just threw him away, and then as you said, Dan Morgan on the inside. It was Barreau and Morgan who make the play for the Canes defense.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10, West Virginia. Look at Michael Barreau, the senior out of North Miami Beach. West Virginia with 4 wide receivers in the game. Coburn the only running back. Bulger out of the shotgun. Throws to the 5-yard line. Porter caught it, they said.
I thought that ball skipped.
The other referee from behind came in and said incomplete. Field judge came in from behind and said incomplete. The linesman on the far side ruled it a catch.
I think that's a good call, Frank. I believe that ball skipped on the short hop, and Porter made a good shortstop attempt at the ball, but let's see if Bulger does short hop him on the throw here. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I'm glad we got replay because I don't think I could have made that call on the field, Frank. That was made look very easy by Porter.
Yeah, he did a good job, but he caught the top of the football and the bottom was sitting on the ground, was touching the ground. 3rd and 10 for West Virginia. Again, the 4 wide receiver formation. And timeout call. West Virginia calling timeout as the Hurricanes trying to fire up this crowd. And again, as I said, the Orange Bowl may be half full, if that. We're going to take a timeout. 10 minutes, 24 seconds left to go first quarter. It's 7-0 West Virginia over Miami.
Log on to www.sportschannelflorida.com for your link to the day's hottest sports action. Get updated sports news coverage through CNN Sports Illustrated. Send email to your favorite sports channel announcers. Link to your favorite Florida teams and much more. It's all on www.sportschannelflorida.com.
Watch Saturday Morning College Kickoff every Saturday morning at 10. Join hosts Frank Franchi, Brady Ackerman, and Terry Norville as they preview the day's college football games. It's 60 minutes of television's only pregame show focusing on Florida's college football teams. Preview the Gators, the Hurricanes, and the Seminoles, as well as reports on the University of South Florida, University of Central Florida, FAMU, and Bethune-Cookman. Saturday Morning College Kickoff every Saturday morning at 10, right here on Sports Channel Florida.
5-0.
Tune in to Sports Channel Florida Saturday mornings throughout the college football season. The lineup includes Saturday morning college kickoff at 10, followed by the Jim Levitt Show at 11, the Butch Davis Show at 11:30, and the Big Ten Game of the Week at 12 noon. Don't miss any of the action Saturdays on Sports Channel Florida. Frank Forte and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel Florida as we come back to play here in the first quarter. 10:24 left to go. West Virginia already leading 7-0 with a 3rd and 10 at the Miami 13-yard line. Mountaineers with 4 wide receivers in. Coburn the only running back as Bulger goes from the shotgun.
And here comes Miami with pressure, man coverage.
Bulger, quick look in, pass complete and fumbled, and it looks like Jeff Popovich got it at the Miami 1-yard line. Antonio Brown had the football and dropped it, and Jeff Popovich comes up with the turnover.
Great play by Miami. They create pressure up front, man-to-man coverage. They bring 7 players, does Miami, and the ball squirts out from Antonio Brown and Jeff Popovich right on top of it for the Hurricanes. Let's take another look. Just a quick hitch in the shotgun formation, a quick slant on the outside. He splits the defenders, but it looked like number 27, Marquise Fitzgerald, made the ball pop out, and you see number 33, Jeff Popovich, on top of the ball for the Canes. Take a look from the outside to the right hand there of Fitzgerald, number 27, causes the ball to leave Antonio Brown's arms and right into number 33, Jeff Popovich. A big turnover, ball on the 1 for the Canes.
Well, the Canes have to get some room here from the 1. Jackson with a deep handoff. Just does get out of the end zone. Tripped up by 87, Antoine Lake. Gain of a yard. We'll look at Jeff Popovich with the fumble recovery. They're number 1 in the Big East in turnover margin at a +5.
Frank, it's great to get a turnover, but when you get it on the 1, this is tough for an offense. Your goal is just to get 2 first downs, so no matter what happens, you can create some field position and not lose it for your defense.
John, the one thing I don't like there is the deep handoff when you're on the 1-yard line. I think you want something a little quicker where the running back has the ball closer to the line of scrimmage. On 2nd and 9, Kelly flips it out to McPartland, and he's drilled right away. Rick Sherrod, the strong safety, making the tackle, and a gain of only another yard. It'll be 3rd and a long 8.
It's a tough position on first down if you don't get a couple yards when the ball's on the 1 yard line. It's tough play calling. Some coaches and some offensive coordinators like to go deep right away on first down to create some space in that offensive backfield if they're successful. You see McPartland coming out. He did score a touchdown on a pass similar to that last week against BC. This week against West Virginia, a very minimal gain.
See what Miami does on a 3rd and 8 from their just past their 2 yard line. Moss in motion. Fake to Jackson. Kelly, he's got Moss at the 20, and he stumbled and has run out of bounds at the 30 yard line. If he hadn't stumbled, he might have taken that to the house. Perlo Bastine shoved him out at the 31, but there's the play Miami needed, John. They needed something positive to happen offensively.
That's a nice call because you get pressure defense on the outside. Moss, you see to the left side of your screen, he'll be streaking. A nice play fake. You see West Virginia all flowing towards the wide side of the field, and it's a good throw by Kenny Kelly over the outstretched hand of Chris Edmonds, the linebacker. Watch that, just perfect touch on the football, and he doesn't break stride. Moss catches it in stride and has plenty for the first down.
Moss in motion on a 1st and 10 from the Miami 31. Give to Jackson. Jackson skips to the outside, cuts back and gets across the 35 to the 36 yard line. Rick Sherrod, the safety number 27, making the tackle, but a good positive play, nearly 6 on the first down.
That's something that hasn't happened for this Kane offense yet today on first down, to get positive yardage over 5 yards. They get 6 on first down, and credit that play on 3rd down. Moss did a great job of finding the open space going from left to right.
8:25 to go first quarter. West Virginia leading 7-0 here at the Orange Bowl. Miami with 3 wide receivers now in. The give to Jackson. Jackson escaped 1 tackle and then falls down at the 38 yard line with Sherrod there to cover him. 45, Kyle Caden made Jackson do a quick cut and lose his balance. So it'll bring up 3rd and a long 3.
It's exactly what we talked about. Kyle Caden, as you said, Frank, there's a lot of speed on both sides at the linebacker position. That time Kyle Caden showed you he can come. Number 45, he's a sophomore. He has 59 total tackles on the year. He made the running back from Miami, James Jackson, adjust, and you see him right there, 45, Caden. He's in the middle of that Mountaineer defense.
On 3rd and a long 3, Miami goes with the double tight end and 1 running back. It's Jackson. King in motion, pitch to the short side. Jackson gets cut down shy of the first down. A great play by Scooter Davis. Held it to a gain of 1.5 yards, and Miami will have to punt. That's one of Miami's favorite plays on the hash mark, the short side toss, but just didn't seem like there was a lot of explosion there or burst from James Jackson.
Well, actually, they lost the battle at the line of scrimmage. Number 18, Mondrell Fulcher, lined up at the line of the scrimmage. See him on the right there? He doesn't make the block. Actually throws the tackler, number 41, Chris Edmonds, to the outside and never gave a lane to James Jackson to run to. There was nowhere to run on that 3rd down play.
Capshaw with his 3rd punt of the afternoon. Has plenty of time. Driving it low into the wind. That's a nice looking kick. Brown will let it hit at the 20 yard line, and it went out of bounds right at the 20. That's where West Virginia will start 1st and 10. So at the very least, Miami, John, got out of the shadow of their own goalposts and at least won the battle of field position there.
It's really all you want to do in that situation. If you score in that situation, Frank, it's a bonus. You want to get out, get a couple first downs, at least give your special teams room to punt the football. And as you said, they get the ball on the 20 yard line. So it's a good, successful series for Miami's offense.
Well, one thing Miami's Butch Davis and Art Kehoe can't be happy about is their offensive line is not taking control of the line of scrimmage against a West Virginia team which has shown no inclination to stop the run this year. 1st and 10 Mountaineers at their 20. Fake to Coburn. Bulger on a rollout. Beck, his tight end, wide open across the 35 and to the 39 yard line before Mike Rumpf made the tackle. Gain of 19.
Frank, that has to be a bust in coverage because I know Anthony Becht has 21 receptions on the season and he's averaging over 12 yards a catch, but that was just wide open in the middle of the football field. We mentioned Anthony in the open along with Bubba Franks. These guys know how to get open. A great play fake. Both linebackers come up to the line of scrimmage, and then wide open in the Miami secondary is the senior tight end, Anthony Becht.
1st and 10 Mountaineers at their 39. Give to Coburn. This time Coburn barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Dan Morgan and Clint Hurt, who has seen very limited action this year, making the tackle. No gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
That's where Miami needs to step it up, I believe, Frank, on the defensive line. They have to win the majority of those battles up there because they have such great linebacking speed and such great playmakers. You see Morgan and Webster and Campbell right there. Those guys can make plays. They have such great speed and tenacity. They can make plays, but if you don't win it on the line of scrimmage, you're not going to have a chance.
Out of the shotgun on 2nd and long. Bulger with time. Pass over the middle, complete to Beck to the 45-yard line. Nate Webster, Ed Reed there on the tackle. Picked up about 6. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Mountaineers.
Good throw by Bulger that time. A timing throw to his tight end. That drew a crowd. Actually, between 3 Hurricane defenders does Mark Bulger fit the football into his tight end. Just takes a quick snap off of the shotgun formation. You see number 20, Ed Reed. You see Campbell to the outside, Nate Webster to the inside. Good timing by the veteran quarterback, the senior, on this Mountaineer offense.
3 wide receivers in on a 3rd and 4. Now Brown in motion to make it a trips left. Bulger on the rollout. Bulger throwing to the sideline. That's caught by Corey Ivy at the Miami 40, and West Virginia will move the chains. Picked up almost 14 or 15 yards.
Frank, that's a big-time throw. Mark Bulger, what he did, he catches the football in shotgun and actually retreats right before he throws the football to set his feet. Take a look at Bulger's technique on this one. He sprints out, he gets a good cut block on the outside. Now watch him back up and just retreat to set his feet and shoulders down the field. He knows he has to throw the football over number 22, Leonard Myers. That's a great pass and great timing between quarterback and receiver. Watch Bulger. He'll set his feet to retreat and then actually lean to the sideline, throw it over the defender of Miami and in front of number 27, Marquise Fitzgerald.
First down at the Canes 40. Bulger will throw it deep. And that ball is intercepted by Mike Rumpf. He was all over Antonio Brown, and Mike Rumpf has his 2nd interception of the season. 5 minutes, 10 seconds left to go first quarter. Miami comes up with their 2nd turnover.
Big turnover early in this football game. West Virginia seemed to have some rhythm established on offense. And Mike Rumpf, if there's one thing he can do is give a cushion and play center field when he's allowed to set up in that position. That time he had a big cushion. He had about 12 or 15 yards on the receiver to the outside, Antonio Brown. What Bulger does is just really play your man. My man's going to be better than your man. Try to put a lot of air under the football, and it looked like Antonio Brown mistimed his jump, and the ball just comes right down in Mike Rumpf's lap. See the ball, a lot of air underneath the football. He's just taking a shot at the end zone. Really mistimed the jump, came inside, the ball was outside, and Rumpf was there to make the interception.
2 things, John. There was pressure, and Rumpf is 6'2", Brown is about 5'8". 1st and 10, Miami at their 3. Jackson behind a good block from Mercier. Nice cutback, and Barrett Green brings down Jackson at the 7-yard line. It's a gain of 4 on first down. The Miami defense has come up with 2 turnovers, much needed turnovers, although they've both been inside their 10-yard line. So now they're saying to the offense, all right, guys, we got you the football back. It's not great field position, but do something with it.
Get us some rest on the sidelines. You see the turnovers, 2 West Virginia offensive turnovers. Mike Rumpf, the culprit that time, getting the football away from Mark Bulger in that offense. And desperately, they need to do that. Miami needs to take a drive here, get some clock, and try to get into field goal or scoring range.
2nd down. And about 6. Jackson again behind McPartland. A lot of room for Jackson. Gets across the 15 with first down yardage to the 16-yard line. Again, Barrett Green there on the tackle for West Virginia, but the Canes move the chains with 4:24 left to go first quarter.
You see Jackson on the outside. I always thought Miami was a better short side running football team than they were to the wide side. A good job by Gonzalez really pinning the inside. And you see as well number 64, Ty Wise. They all actually turn back protection or turn back blocking. They seal the inside, and Butch Davis has to be happy with the way this offense is performing in the shadow of its own goalpost.
First down, Miami at the 16-yard line. West Virginia leading 7-0. Out of the eye, Jackson again. This time he is met in the hole and dropped. Picked up about a yard. We'll bring up 2nd and 9 for Miami. West Virginia with Ryan Brady in there making that tackle. Look at Jackson's rushing totals. 8 for 27. He averages 4.4 per carry. He has 576 yards on the year and 6 touchdowns. 2nd and 9, Hurricanes. We're in the first quarter at the Orange Bowl. Double tight end for Miami. Fulcher in motion. And a give to Jackson. Got a block from McPartland. Jackson still going to the 22-yard line before Scooter Davis and Chris Edmonds bring him down. That'll bring up about a 3rd and 3 as Jackson got 5.
All week, the Miami scouting report on Jackson has been that he's kind of banged up. He has a sore shoulder. He has really a bum ankle, and he's running pretty tough here early in this football game. You have to give him credit. Very courageous effort so far in this first quarter by the junior running back.
Third and a long 3 for Miami. They've got to reach the 26-yard line to move the chains. 3:08 to go first quarter. Kelly will go from the shotgun. 3 wide receivers in for Miami. Kelly flings it out to Wayne, made a great catch and dives across the 30 to the 31 for a first down. Perlo Bastine had the coverage, but Reggie Wayne stretching his 6'2" to a full extent to make that catch.
Wow, big time catch by Reggie Wayne on the outside. You see he's averaging over 11 yards per catch and 2 touchdowns on 21 receptions, but none better than this one right here, Frank. The quarterback, Kenny Kelly, actually in man coverage. Just a quick slant to the inside, but take a look. Reggie Wayne does not care where the defender, Perlo Bastine, is on the outside. He disregards the concern for his body and makes a big first down for the Hurricanes.
First and 10, Miami at their 31. 2:33 to go first quarter. Jackson the only running back. Quick hitch to Moss. Moss one-on-one trying to make something happen. Bastine drags him out at the 34-yard line, held it to a gain of 3. West Virginia with 21 players from Florida, the state of Florida. A lot of those from Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach counties, particularly Palm Beach and Miami-Dade County. And Don Nealon does a nice job recruiting down here. You say, well, why did those kids go somewhere else? Why did Miami keep? You can't get everybody.
That's right. There's a lot of talent.
You only have 85 scholarships. 2nd and 7 for the Hurricanes from their 34. Kelly, plenty of time, swings it out to Jackson. Jackson 35, and run out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Kevin Freeman, backup linebacker, number 42, making the tackle. That's about 2 yards shy of a first down. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Kenny Kelly just trying to look downfield to keep the linebackers off of his running back. He knows he wants to swing the football out to the short side of the field. That's Jackson's 10th reception on the season. He does a nice job of picking up what he can, gets out of bounds, and leaves Miami with a 3rd down and 2 to go.
Again, a little over 2 yards, about 2.5. They've got to get just past the 41 for a first down, and Kelly will go with the shotgun again and the 3 wide receivers in the game. Kelly with a blitz coming to the outside, and that ball was dropped by Chris Edmonds, who had an interception. Well, that's a play I'd like to go to the tight end there, John, because I don't think West Virginia is paying a ton of attention to Bubba Frank so far. They're so conscious of Wayne and Moss on the outside.
Well, I think Kenny Kelly just got fooled a little bit that time, Frank, with the defense. He thought he was going to rush on the end of the line of scrimmage. You see 41, Chris Edmonds, and actually Kenny looked to the wide side first. So when he turned back to the short side, someone was there that he didn't know was going to be there, just turned and threw, really predetermined where he was going to go with the football. That time he got away with it, but it was a bad decision.
Delvecchio snapping to Capshaw. And that punt off the side of his foot and goes out of bounds at the West Virginia 33-yard line. That's where the Mountaineers will start 1st and 10 with 2:06 left to go first quarter. It's West Virginia 7 and Miami nothing. And John, Miami, at least, like I said, the last 2 times has gotten out of the shadow of their own goalposts, at least give their defense a chance to play on a 3/4 or a 2/3 field instead of starting in their own territory.
Yeah, you're right. They've done a nice job of getting out of their own end, but you have to credit this Miami defense so far. They really have only made one bad play. They misjudged a pass on the fade route to the outside. Ed Reed coming up trying to gamble, but the average start position, West Virginia on their own 34, Miami on their own 10.
This is Cooper Rigo, the 2nd-string tailback. He's run out of bounds by Ed Reed and gained about 3 on first down. 2:01 to go first quarter. Rigo, a transfer from Notre Dame. You don't see a lot of guys going from Notre Dame to West Virginia.
No, you don't.
Call it a gain of 3. Kelly on the horn upstairs to Larry Coker, his offensive coordinator, and Ken Dorsey, the backup quarterback, listening in. Doesn't look like Kelly's been affected by the ankle too much so far, John.
No, it really hasn't. I've been watching him. He's been making the deep handoffs that he needs to make for the timing of the mesh point with the tailback. Really hasn't had to move all too much.
Again, Miami did jump into the neutral zone. We'll see if they were drawn off, and if so, if they did jump on their own, that's the 3rd offside penalty on Miami in the first quarter. And I just got to say it again, John, that's a lack of focus and a lack of concentration. It doesn't look like the Canes, for the 2nd week in a row, have really come out ready to play.
No, on defense they haven't. This may go against West Virginia, though. The officials were talking about it.
false start.
It is a false start on West Virginia. All right, so I take back at least some of that.
No, don't take it back. I agree with you. I just think that they got lucky there. But Miami, actually 2 or 3 guys looked like jumped on the quarterback cadence. They really have to do a better job of still being aggressive and attacking the line of scrimmage, but they have to be aware of where they are and not listen to the snap count. Just watch the football. You see the penalties. West Virginia only has 1 there, right there for 5 yards, and Miami 2 for 10.
2nd and 12 after the penalty. West Virginia 4 wide receivers in the game. Bulger out of the shotgun. Blitz coming. They pick it up. Pass is complete to Porter, and Porter gets to the 39-yard line before Marquise Fitzgerald and Leonard Myers make the tackle. He picked up 7. It'll bring up 2nd and about 5 for West Virginia. Clock down to 1:45 to go in the first quarter. A look at Marquise Fitzgerald, who's number 27, saw action for the first time last week, coming off the 5-game suspension. And we expect him to see a lot of playing time. Defensive coordinator Greg Schiano saying nobody has really emerged at cornerback, separated themselves from the pack, as it were. It's 3rd down and 5. I believe I said it was going to be 2nd. It's 3rd down and 5. Bulger again out of the shotgun. Quick hitch to Brown at the 40. And Brown pulled out of bounds at the 47-yard line, but has enough for a West Virginia first down as Leonard Myers made the tackle.
Frank, just really a pick play to Antonio Brown. He comes from inside out of the formation of the 3 wide receivers to the wide side. Bulger does a nice job of waiting for the motion to cross the line, or cross the formation, and then it's a speed or a race to the outside with Antonio Brown winning that. But you see Brown in motion number 5 there. All he does is wait till he gets to the outside. He knows he's going to get a pick or a rub to the inside. And you see number 7, Al Blades, running from inside out. It wasn't his man, but that was the man that was picked.
Give to Cooper Rigo. Puts his head down, gets to the line of scrimmage, and no more. Damian Lewis and Nate Webster make the tackle. Perhaps he lost a yard there. Well, that's what Miami needs to do. They need to stuff the run, and they need to run the ball on West Virginia. West Virginia has a reputation as a team that doesn't tackle very well. They've given up over 200 yards per game on the ground. And I think that's where Miami really needs to get going in the offensive part of the game.
Well, they have to win first down, Frank, and Damian Lewis and Matt Sweeney and Burrow and Joseph up front, they're a big part of that, stopping the West Virginia running attack on first down.
On 2nd and 11, Bulger with the rollout. Chased by Joseph. Bulger throws it complete. That's Corey Ivy down at the Miami 40-yard line, and he's bumped out of bounds by Edward Reed. But that's a pickup of 13 and a first down.
And that's Bulger using his athletic ability on the outside. He didn't know he had that speed. He runs away from William Joseph in the Mountaineer backfield and just bides his time waiting for a receiver to pop open. And he finally finds one right at the 40-yard line. Bulger using his speed. He's rolling out to his right after play action. Now watch number 94. He just kind of puts it into another gear, gears it down to throw the football, and then he throws a strike to number 8, Corey Ivy, just before he goes out of bounds on the 40-yard line.
It's a bad angle by Chris Campbell, though. Joseph and Campbell both had leverage, and neither one of them were able to make the play. Campbell allowed himself to get cut instead of taking a bigger angle to the outside. Rigo with the handoff, runs into the pile, and down he goes. Chris Campbell there with Nate Webster, tackled him for a loss of a yard.
Nice play by 2 of the 3 linebackers there. You see Campbell and Webster in the Mountaineer backfield. That's what they have to do on first down. You see Nate there, a little war wound on that helmet. He's been doing some headbutting in the Mountaineer backfield so far today.
That should be the last play of the first quarter, as you see the clock in the lower right part of the screen winding down. And we have reached the end of the first quarter here at the Orange Bowl. After 15 minutes of play, it's West Virginia 7 and Miami nothing. They'll change ends. West Virginia will have it 2nd and 11 when we return for the second quarter here on Sports Channel.
This is an ordinary cell phone. This is Nextel, and it's going to change the way you do business thanks to Direct Connect, its digital two-way radio feature. Frank, you see it?
Not yet.
It ensures instant contact. Bridget.
Got it.
Cost a fraction of cellular.
It just passed.
And it makes other cell phones
Ready now.
obsolete.
Direct Connect from Nextel. How business gets done.
Support UM student athletes by making a donation to the Hurricane Club. Every dollar raised goes toward the Student Athlete Scholarship Fund. Support Hurricane Athletics by making your donation today to the Hurricane Club at 305-284-6699 or 1-800-GO-CANES. Frank Fort and John Kajemi with you on Sports Channel as we get ready to start the second quarter. The teams have switched ends, and now Miami with a rather stiff 15 to 20 mile per hour wind, I would guess, at their back. But West Virginia has its 2nd and 11 at the Miami 41. West Virginia scoring on the opening possession, a 43-yard touchdown pass from Mark Bulger to Jerry Porter. Miami has come up with 2 turnovers defensively since then to keep West Virginia at bay, but the Miami offense with poor field position throughout the first quarter hasn't gotten much generated.
Yeah, the Miami offense, their averaging starting position on the field has been their own 10-yard line. No one likes to do that. And to their credit, they've gotten out of the hole both times they had the ball inside the 10-yard line, and they've gotten at least 2 or 3 first downs and forced the punt back to the West Virginia side of the 50. So Bulger and company on offense doing a nice job for them moving the football in their first series, actually the first pass of the game to the outside for a touchdown. That sets the score at 7-0.
West Virginia huddled toward their own sideline and made their play call there. And it looks like the 3 wide out formation with only 1 running back. That's Cooper Rigo. Antonio Brown right now is lined up in the fullback spot, but he will go in motion. I can't imagine that Antonio Brown would stay there. And indeed, he comes out to the right side of the formation to make it a 3 wide out set. On 2nd down, Bulger throwing for Brown and incomplete. Good coverage by Leonard Myers, who came over the top trying for the deflection. That'll bring up 3rd and long for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, actually the Mountaineers went into the teeth of the Miami defense. That defense and Leonard Myers was rolling up. He actually was off about 10 yards, but he knew he had Edward Reed behind him. So Myers coming up saw the quick pass, and his job anyway was to cover the flat. He made a nice break on the football, and actually the quarterback, Mark Bulger, threw that one away, threw it low, so over the top, Leonard Myers could not pick it off.
3 wide receivers again in for the Mountaineers on this 3rd and 11. Miami going with the dime defense. Only 3 rush linemen. Bulger rolling out. Bulger throws, and oh, is that ball caught? Holy cow, did he take a hit?
Wow.
Antonio Brown just got drilled but held onto the football. He's short of the 1st down. I can't believe he held that ball.
I don't know how he catches it either. Mike Rump, just as we said, the coverage was rolling up on the previous play. That's exactly what happened. Mike Rump is waiting in the flat for Antonio Brown to come in and out, and he's just playing the cornerback position. He has the short side of the coverage there, rolls up and just lays his right shoulder right underneath the chin strap of Antonio Brown. It's a miraculous catch by Brown and a big play by the cornerback, Michael Rump.
4th down and 2. Bulger out of the shotgun. Rolling to the right. Throwing down the field. Caught by Ivy at the 15, and down he goes there. Reed and Rumpf making the tackle, but a big conversion on 4th and 2 for the Mountaineers.
Well, the offensive team that's making the play, and actually the quarterback that's making the play so far, is Mark Bulger, the senior out of Pittsburgh. He rolls to his right. He gets the corner very clean. He waits for his big target, number 8, Corey Ivy, to clear the first set of Miami defenders, goes up for the football. This is a nice pass. He gave him enough air to go up for the football, yet he put it in between his shoulder pads, so if somebody comes through his body, he's going to catch the football. You see Mike Rump making his 2nd consecutive tackle in a row, but it's good enough for a Mountaineer first down.
That was a great throw because he had to drop it over Rump and in front of Reed. And it was a great throw by Bulger. From the 16 on 1st down, Coburn tried to get away in the backfield and could not. Good penetration by Campbell, forced the play. And then it was Damian Lewis and Dan Morgan finishing it off. No gain on the play. With 13:25 to go 2nd period, it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for West Virginia.
That was bad. Frank, Miami's defense has been asked to keep West Virginia out of the end zone a couple times early in the first quarter. Now they're going to be asked to keep them out of the end zone again. The ball, you see, 2nd down and 10, right about on the 16-yard line.
On 2nd and long, backs in the eye. Bulger under pressure, delivers it to Becht, and that short hopped him at the 3-yard line. Good pressure that time. Nate Webster coming on a blitz, and he got right up in Bulger's grill and forced the incompletion.
That's the key to the incompletion right there. Becht one-on-one on the outside. You're going to win that match. I don't care who you're up against. It's 6'6", 260 pounds. That time, Mark Bulger didn't have enough time to put the football up in the air. You see pressure right from his throwing side, right on his right side. Nate Webster, coming from that linebacker position, came free right in the face of Mark Bulger. Didn't have enough time to make a good throw.
3rd and 10 for West Virginia at the Miami 17. Bulger working from under center with a double tight end. Going on the fade pattern, and that ball is incomplete. Good jam by Mike Rumpf on Corey Ivy, disrupted the pattern. And that'll bring up a fourth, and the field goal unit will come onto the field with Jay Taylor. John, I don't know if you could see it, but Mike Rumpf really got an excellent jam on Corey Ivy and really disrupted the whole play.
Corey Ivy stayed on the line of scrimmage for about 2 seconds, and the ball was up in the air, clearly an overthrow, but that was caused by the great pressure on the line of scrimmage by Rumpf.
Zach Engler will hold, and Jay Taylor will attempt from 33 yards away. Taylor gets it away, plenty of distance, and it is good. And with 12 minutes and 46 seconds left to go in the second quarter, it's now West Virginia 10 and Miami nothing as Jay Taylor converts his 10th field goal in 11 tries this year. Mountaineers lead it 10-zip.
Now you can save money anytime you make a phone call. Save on weekends, weekdays, holidays, mornings, evenings. Save on every single call. And you don't have to dial 1010 anything. You just have to call Office Depot.
Yeah, and I need a 3-hole paper punch. Yeah.
Call 1-888-GO-DEPOT for a free catalog. Office Depot. Low prices every day.
The broadcast rights to this telecast have been granted to Sports Channel Florida by ESPN Regional solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction, transmission, or other use of this program without the express written consent of ESPN Regional or Sports Channel Florida is strictly prohibited. 10-0. Mountaineers lead it as the Miami defense on the phone. John, we were talking during the break. It just seems a lot like last week at Boston College in this sense. There doesn't seem to be a lot of emotion on the guys in the green jerseys right now. I don't want to use the word flat because I think it's overused, but they just don't seem quite ready to play. That extra spark isn't there.
Yeah, you see the guys on the sidelines. Everybody's on the phone looking for answers. How can they stop West Virginia? It's 10-0 with 12:46 left to go. But I agree with you. The emotion comes from defense. It comes from setting the tone. And offensively, it comes from being aggressive with your offensive line and just going after people. And as of right now, I don't see Miami in either department really in control of the offensive line or defensive lines.
Taylor to kick into the wind. Directional kick. Andre King at the 6. King hit hard, bounced off one man, then taken down at the 18-yard line. Number 9, Lewis Daniels, backup defensive back, making the play after James Davis, the defensive back, had made the initial hit. Miami will start 1st and 10 from their 18-yard line. We'll take a break. 12:38 to go second quarter. Mountaineers leading 10-0.
I'm Ned Smith, host of Sunday Morning NFL. For the past 4 years, Sunday Morning NFL has been the cornerstone of Sports Channel Florida's Sunday morning program. We're up early before the alphabet letter networks are, bringing you the latest on the Miami Dolphins, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. You want to know the latest about Mark Brunell, Dan Marino, Trent Dilfer, join Dave Worth, John Conjimmy, Frank Frangie, and myself as we bring you a live 90 minutes of Sunday Morning NFL right here on Sports Channel Florida.
Look into my crystal ball. I can see your future. Your future looks very bright.
Sports Channel Florida has solidified its commitment to Florida sports by reaching an agreement with the Marlins, Devil Rays, and Panthers to be their exclusive cable TV home past the year 2010. As Florida's first and only 24-hour all-sports network, we look forward to sharing many years together with our teams and our fans. For now and the future, Florida's teams play here.
Don't miss Sunday Morning NFL, the only live 90-minute NFL pregame show dedicated to Florida's teams. Join your hosts Ned Smith, John Conjemmy, Frank Frangie, and Dave Worth each Sunday as they preview matchups for the Dolphins, Jaguars, and Buccaneers. The action begins at 10 a.m. exclusively on Sports Channel Florida. That Conjemmy guy, he's pretty good.
Tell you what, that guy goes around to a lot of places, huh?
He gets around. He's got a lot of frequent flyer miles. It's 10-0 Mountaineers, 12:38 left to go second quarter. This game isn't nearly as bad as last week's at Boston College in terms of how it started, but if you're Miami, you want to get the ball rolling right now. You don't want to let West Virginia kind of build their confidence and build momentum, you want to get things going offensively. Miami really didn't do much in the first quarter with the football. On 1st and 10 from the 18, double tight end in for Miami. Fulcher and Franks. Jackson the running back. Jackson with the football. Jackson will get about 3 to the 21-yard line. Barrett Green there to make the tackle for West Virginia. John, I don't know, is West Virginia loading up the box to stop the run and challenging Miami to throw, or what are they doing right now?
Well, Miami's going double tights, and I think that's a good move because I think so far in this season, Mondrell Fulcher's been wasted at the fullback position, so they want to get him into the football game at double tights, but that still doesn't excuse from moving bodies off the line of scrimmage. Just really not a lot of big gaping holes to run through tackle to tackle for James Jackson.
On 2nd and 7, it's Fulcher in motion. Kelly on the half roll. Tried to set up Jackson. Now finds him at the 20 with Mercier in front. Jackson got away from one, shoved out at the 29-yard line, very close to the first down, and I think he has it where they made the spot. Corey McIntyre, backup middle linebacker, making the tackle for West Virginia.
Nice job of setting up the play by Kenny Kelly. Really no ill effects from the sprained ankle. Watch Kenny Kelly's mobility. He sprints out to the right and then bides some time. Really nothing there because James Jackson's being held up at the line of scrimmage. Then he finally finds him on the screen. A nice block out in front of James Jackson to provide enough running room for the Hurricane first down.
James took a pretty good shot in the back there, so he'll go out, and Clinton Portis in a tailback now for Miami. 1st and 10 from near the 30. This is Portis. Not much room to run. We said that a lot last week in the first half. It's Chris Edmonds, number 41, the outside linebacker, making the tackle. Look at Miami. The first 4 times they had the ball this afternoon. 3 and out, 7 plays and a punt, 9 plays and a punt. Horrible field position, of course, so they haven't started past their own 20. Average 11.5-yard line. That's the average start of Miami's possessions. 2nd and 8 for the Hurricanes. Give Portis 2 on the last play. Kelly to the outside. Moss made the catch, and his knee hit down at the 44-yard line, but it's enough for a Miami first down as he picked up 13 yards.
That's what you like to see. Kenny Kelly dropping back and going to his outside receivers. I don't care who Miami faces in the Big East besides Virginia Tech. They should have the advantage with their skill positions on the outside because Santana Moss is a one-in-a-lifetime player. He can make plays. He's great coming out of break. See him right there. Very crisp, comes back to the football, secures the ball. And on the other side, you got Reggie Wayne. So you should have an advantage on the outside for the Miami Hurricanes.
King and Aaron Mosier now win a wide receiver for Miami. Portis on a first down. Portis bursting through to near midfield. That's a nice gain on first down as he got about 6. Gary Tompkins, the safety out of Monsignor Pace High School in Miami, making the tackle. A look at Kenny Kelly's stats on the day. Nothing wrong with those numbers.
No, high percentage. He's making good decisions. The only time he tried to force the football, I think he was fooled by the blitz on the outside by Chris Edmonds. But take a look at that last play. That was the first time you saw a big gaping hole on the inside, and actually Portis cut it back, and he did a nice job of gaining a big gain on first down.
Moss and Wayne back in at wide receiver. 2nd and 4 for the Hurricanes. At midfield, that's Fulcher in motion. Give to Portis. Portis trying to bounce outside, and Gary Tompkins wrestles him down for a loss of a yard. Mondrell Fulcher got stood up as he was the lead blocker. And I don't think he's been nearly as good blocking this year as he was last year. Last year he was a devastating blocker, and coming from the H-back or fullback, I just don't think he's doing as good a job as he did as a tight end.
No, it looked like he ducked his head that time and tried to take on Barrett Green, and that bought enough time for Gary Tompkins to come from that strong safety position and make a big hit on the freshman running back, Clinton Portis.
You see Don Solinger giving Fulcher an earful right there. It's 3rd and still about 4, closer to 5 yards. Out of the shotgun. Kelly with a blitz coming. Overthrows Santana Moss. That's just a poor throw. That ball sailed on him. Perlo Bastine had the coverage.
Another blitz adjustment, another blitz that time by the Mountaineers in the secondary. Right in the face of Kenny Kelly. Knew he had to get rid of the football to the outside, trying to hit his wide receiver Santana Moss on the adjustment. As you said, Frank, I don't know sometimes if that wind helps you or hurts you when you have such a gusting wind at your back. Sometimes the ball seems to just take off and sail on you.
Freddie Capshaw stands at his 35. Antonio Brown back to receive for the Mountaineers. Capshaw hangs it high, wind at his back. Brown will catch this ball at the 3-yard line. He signaled fair catch. That's a bad mistake by Antonio Brown, the sophomore out of Miami, Florida. You stand at the 10. If the ball's going over your head, you let it go. 9:19 left to go second quarter. West Virginia, though, still leading by a score of 10-0 over the Hurricanes. 9:19 left to go second quarter. A look at the sophomore Antonio Brown, who's a dynamite kick returner, but made a very bad mistake on this last punt from Freddie Capshaw.
Exactly right. You mentioned it, Frank. When you're at your 10-yard line, you have your feet planted on the 10. If you go backwards even one step, let the football go. That time, Brown actually retreated past his 5-yard line. He's close to the 3, and that's a heck of a catch just to secure the football. What happens if that ball bobbles out and Miami scores an easy touchdown?
It's a great catch, but you don't want your punt returner catching the ball over his shoulder like that. All right, 1st and 10, West Virginia at their 2-yard line. This is where Miami's defense has got to bow up and get him back in the game. Bulger with a play fake. Bulger chased in the end zone, just throws it up for grabs, and that ball's intercepted by Leonard Myers. Leonard Myers back to the 13-yard line. A spectacular one-handed interception by Leonard Myers. Bulger trying to avoid the safety, John, threw it into coverage.
Well, we talked about it, Frank. This is where Miami needed to make a stand. Prior to this series, the worst West Virginia had the football in a possession to start a series was their own 20. This time, watch the receivers almost collide in the middle of the field. That's what made the football hold on so long. That's what made Bulger hold on to the football for such a long time. Then he made a bad decision by just throwing it up for grabs, but the receivers actually ran into each other, and you see big number 98, Matt Sweeney, on the legs of Bulger. That time, just a terrific one-handed, right-handed grab by number 22, Myers, on the interception.
James Jackson, the lone running back for the Hurricanes. Jackson with the football. Jackson will go nowhere. Number 99, Greg Robinette, making the tackle, no gain, maybe lost even a half a yard. The Miami offense just has not been able to win the battle at the line of scrimmage most of the day, John. West Virginia statistics belying their performance today. They give up over 200 yards a game on the ground, but they've looked nothing like that type of defense today.
You're right, Frank. You would think Miami would be able to come in and win the battle of the line of scrimmage and push West Virginia around offensively, but so far, West Virginia defense is holding its own.
See, that first down play, that's where I'd like to take a shot at the end zone, right after the turnover. On 2nd and 10. Kelly, complete to Wayne over the middle, gets inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Gained about 5. Barrett Green there on the coverage for West Virginia.
Kenny Kelly turning to the sideline, asking the coaches to really run that play over again because he saw Bubba Franks after he threw the football, and he's motioning to the sidelines, hey, give me another chance. I think I can hook up with Bubba, and I think Bubba was trying to tell him about that. He was on the bottom of his screen, just missed him on down the field, but Wedgie Wayne coming from right to left, just on the quick drag, really minimal gain.
3rd and 6 for Miami from the Mountaineer 8. Against a 4-man rush. Kelly flips it out to Jackson, and that's a lateral, and it goes out of bounds at the 15. Well, if Kenny Kelly's healthy, he probably runs the football.
That's exactly right, Frank. That's a sure sign of him not having confidence in his ankle. He would have definitely tucked that football to try to get what he could. That time he sort of panicked because he says, I can't run. That's been taken away from me from my own health standpoint. Right here, he would have tucked the football and tried to make a play. But he didn't turn it over. That's the one good thing you can say about that play is he didn't turn the football over. He gives an opportunity for Crossland to come in and kick a field goal.
And you see Kelly and Wayne again discussing things. Just not real good communication or understanding for whatever reason. Crossland out of Zach Hart's hold, and he missed the field goal. From 31 yards away, 32 yards away, Crossland misses. And he continues to have troubles. A game-winning field goal last week, but after that interception, that's where you've got to take control of this football game and get back in it. Still 10-0 West Virginia, 7:37 left to go second quarter. You see the score and time remaining second quarter. Miami blowing an opportunity after the Leonard Myers interception as Crossland misses the field goal. Cooper Rigo trying to get to the outside, tripped up by Ed Reed after a gain of about 3. John, those are opportunities you just cannot let go by the boards.
Especially when you're not clicking on either side of the football. You're struggling with field position, you're struggling with offense and defense, and then you come out and you struggle on special teams. Andy Crossland, really the wind behind his back, just never had this ball between the posts. It started actually right on the left upright and continued to leave the goalpost instead of coming back in to the goalpost.
Well, if you were a golfer, you say he came off that one. Out of the shotgun on a 2nd and 7. Give to Rigo. He's got nowhere to go. Matt Sweeney and then William Joseph drop him for a loss of a yard and a half.
I think Miami's catching a break, Frank, with Rigo in the football game instead of Coburn, because Coburn seemed to be hitting the holes and cutting back more than Rigo. Rigo really just running to get tackled, and Miami doing a nice job there. That time winning the line of scrimmage battle up front and really stuffing the run the first 2 plays.
Bring up 3rd and 9 for West Virginia from their 21. See Cooper Rigo's numbers on the year. Certainly respectable for a backup tailback. 3 wideouts in for the Mountaineers. It's Brown in motion. He'll make it back to the near side. Bulger to throw over the middle. Caught by Beck, his tight end. Nice diving catch.
Actually dropped it.
He did drop it. They call it incomplete. So Miami catching another break there. Good effort by Anthony Beck, the tight end we talked about.
He wanted the football early, Frank. See his head turned around. He was wide open, and actually a poor throw by Bulger. Didn't put it on his body. If he'd have came off and threw it on his 3rd step, Beck had his easy catch and an easy first down for the Mountaineers.
So it's a 3 and out for the Miami defense. Mark Fazzolari in for a punt. Santana Moss standing in Miami territory to receive it. Against the wind. Pretty good kick. Moss at his 40. Santana breaking away. And Moss has it inside West Virginia territory. Flag well away from the football. I mean 30 yards away from the football. And if that's on Miami, there's no excuse for that.
You're right. It might be 40 yards away from the play, Frank.
Moss had brought it back to the West Virginia 42.
Wow.
And they're going to bring it back. They're going to march it off from the Miami 44-yard line. Dennis Hennigan, our referee. And you see Butch Davis not thrilled with that.
Holding on the return, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. That'll bring it back to the Miami 34.
And if I'm Butch on the sidelines, I want to know who's it on, because really the play was at least 30 to 40 yards away from where the flag ended up coming down on the Orange Bowl grass.
Well, we're talking about it again. We talked about it last week. This lack of focus, this lack of rhythm. You see Miami has forced 3 turnovers today, but they have not converted on any of them. Now, granted, 2 of those turnovers came at the Miami 1 and the Miami 3-yard line, but the 3rd came at the West Virginia 12, and the Canes got 0 points out of it. They do have the football back, 1st and 10 at their 34. Jackson, the only running back. He has the football. And you see how the blocking gets stacked up, but James bounces it outside and gets up to the 44-yard line, picked up 7. You see the blockers just getting stood up, John. They're just not controlling their guy. They're not pushing West Virginia off the ball.
Well, credit James Jackson. You have to run against this set. There's only 6 guys at the point of attack. The linebacker walked out strong side, but credit Bubba Franks. That's great drive blocking down the football field. Actually, Bubba 6 and 7 yards down the field, and James Jackson makes a nice run.
Kelly throwing outside off the fingertips of Reggie Wayne. And a good drop by Chris Edmonds, the linebacker, really forced that incompletion.
Yeah, Chris Edmonds has done a nice job forcing Kenny Kelly to be very accurate throwing to the short side. You see Kenny Kelly saying, hey, that's my fault. That was a bad throw. I got to make that play. But actually, Chris Edmonds did a good job of forcing Kelly to make the perfect pass to the short side.
5:31 left to go second quarter. 3rd down and about 2, a little over 2 yards. Call it 2.5. Again out of the shotgun. West Virginia crowd in the line of scrimmage. Blitz coming. Kelly again overthrows Reggie Wayne. Again a poor throw by Kenny Kelly. 2nd series in a row he's missed his wide receiver. I don't know, John. Do you think about putting Kenny Dorsey in the next time you get the ball?
Frank, it's definitely a consideration. But in Kenny Kelly's credit, it's tough. And being a former college quarterback and being injured a lot in 2 of my middle years, it's tough to come out and have the fundamentals of throwing the football when, 1, you don't practice, and 2, you're not healthy from the waist down. It's tough to get your feet underneath you to work in collaboration with the top of your body, and sometimes it's tougher. It's easier said than done to go on out and play in a game without practicing.
Capshaw again drives it deep, and this time Brown's going to have no part of it.
He didn't move, Frank.
He didn't move an inch. In fact, if anything, he moved forward.
He said, hey, that's not my ball.
So it's first and 10 West Virginia, 56-yard punt from Freddie Capshaw. John, I don't know much about routes against blitz breakoffs, but it would seem to me that an easier throw for Kenny in his condition would be something over the middle to the tight end.
Well, actually, what they're doing to alleviate that, Frank, is they're putting him in the shotgun. They already know they want to adjust. West Virginia showed their hand early, so Kenny knows as soon as he's going to catch the football in shotgun, he's got to double adjust on the outside. He's either got a hitch by the inside receiver or a double quick slant. That time he just didn't get it done.
But on 3rd and 2, Miami's lining up in the shotgun, and they're really giving up the running game in the last 2 possessions on 3rd and short. This is Coburn. Squirts through and picks up almost 5. Al Blades on the tackle along with William Joseph. 5 minutes, 10 seconds, and the clock moving here in the second quarter.
That's why if I'm West Virginia and their offensive staff, I like Coburn in a football game. Seems to slither through the Miami defensive line and get into the secondary a little bit quicker than the backup does, and I believe that he'll stay in the game as long as he's healthy. He gives West Virginia the best threat of winning this football game.
2nd and 5 for the Mountaineers at their 25. Bulger checking off. Gives it to Coburn, and this time he's stacked up. Took one hit in the backfield, and Chris Campbell got him for a loss of a yard, and then the cavalry arrived.
Yeah, credit Matt Sweeney. I think he was the first guy in the backfield, and Don Nealon not happy with that play. You see him on the sidelines, but take a look at 98. He beats the block up front of number 69, Rick Gillum, right at the point of attack, and then you see Morgan and Joseph and the rest of the herd in green jerseys back to make the tackle, and really a nice play on 2nd down.
Loss of almost 2. It'll bring up 3rd and about 7. Coming up on 4 minutes to go second quarter. 10-0 West Virginia here at the Orange Bowl. Bulger out of the shotgun. Only a 3-man rush. He reloads, hits Ivy over the middle, and that ball came out.
I think it did. I think that's Miami's football, Frank.
Looks like the officials are saying West Virginia got it back. Now, was the pass complete on a fumble, or was it an incompletion?
I think they're going to give him the completion, Frank, and a fumble, and West Virginia retains possession of the ball.
It's 1st down at the 33-yard line.
Ivy covers
the clock moves now with 3:43 to go second quarter. Butch Davis questioning the official's call.
Watch Bulger reload. He wants to throw it early, and then he figures he has more time than he thought, and he lets Corey Ivy clear the linebacker. Looked like that ball almost bounced into the secondary, into Al Blades' hands.
Either way, it's a 1st down West Virginia. Play fake. Bulger on the rollout. He's got his man Brown up at the 42-yard line. He'll gain 9 as Mike Rumpf made the tackle.
Frank, it looks way too easy for the West Virginia offense. They're getting the corner without any hesitation. The down blocks of either on Joseph on the outside or Burrow to the other side, and they're really escaping, and the quarterback has a clear lane to throw the football. Dan Morgan coming in late, scraping from the weak side linebacker position, but that's an easy throw and catch. You see the coach, offensive wide receiver coach Doc Holliday on the sidelines, but that's an easy throw, pitch and catch for Bulger.
2nd and a yard. Coburn on the delay. Has a 1st down. And across the 45 to the 47-yard line in the arms of Ed Reed, but he picked up almost 6. And West Virginia will move the chains and stop the clock with 2:40 left to go second quarter.
Frank, this is a young offensive line that Coburn is running behind, and not a lot of leadership up there, but they're doing a good job on the offensive line, establishing the line of scrimmage and taking Miami wherever they want to go. That's a lot what BC did last week, and West Virginia really watching those game films and doing a lot what BC did, run up the middle.
1st and 10 Mountaineers at their 48. Bulger gives it to Coburn. Coburn sticks his head down, runs right into Dan Morgan's chest, and picks up a yard. 2nd and 9 upcoming for the Mountaineers. And it's an Orange Bowl that's about half full to begin with, and it's just totally dead right now. There's no emotion in this stadium from the home team or the home fans.
They had a chance to get back into this football game on the big interception by Myers, but Miami comes away with no points, and that really took any excitement or any enthusiasm that was on the team or in the stands right out of the Orange Bowl.
On 2nd and 9 from the Mountaineer 49. Brown in motion. Flips it out to Brown. That might be a lateral, and he's tripped up by Marquise Fitzgerald and loses 4 yards. Good reaction by Marquise Fitzgerald as they motion Brown to make it a triple wide receiver to the short side of the field.
Frank, it looked like they had seen that play on film before, because the Miami defense, they had, you see number 27, Marquise Fitzgerald, number 20, Ed Reed, just rotating from from up the football field into the Mountaineer backfield. They had no chance of gaining any positive yards on that play, and that was a great pre-snap look on defense.
3rd and 12 for the Mountaineers. Bulger out of the shotgun from his 45. Gives it to Coburn. Coburn got a block across the 50 and to the Miami 44-yard line. He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down. And West Virginia, I would imagine, would go for it. They got nothing to lose with 48 seconds to go.
They've got 2 timeouts remaining, and they can let this clock wind down and really gamble and roll the dice. Their defense really no threat of Miami moving the football. Let's see what Don Nealon and that offensive staff does.
They are wasting a lot of time here. They have not used a timeout. And Bulger right now just staring at the sideline.
They could take it all the way down. It seems like to about 25 seconds left. There's a penalty flag on the field in the defensive secondary.
They're going to call Miami a legal substitution, I'll bet. Miami saying, wait, we're not huddled. We didn't break the huddle with 12. And that gives West Virginia first down.
Wow.
And if you're a Miami fan, there's some of them booing, and they have reason to boo that. I don't believe in booing college athletes, but that's just a mental mistake on a part of the coaches and the players. So it's first down at the Hurricane 38 with 27 seconds left to go in the second quarter. And now whistle stop play again. Miami calls timeout. Well, this is just utter confusion on the Miami sideline right now. Butch Davis giving an earful to one of the officials. We'll take a timeout. 22 seconds left in the second quarter. It's West Virginia 10, Miami nothing. Back at the Orange Bowl, Butch Davis giving it to referee Dennis Hennigan. And I think, John, what he's saying is, hey, West Virginia's huddling with 13 guys near their sideline. Why can't we do the same thing? And I think there's an interpretation of rules problem right there.
That was an unusual flag because it seemed like West Virginia was just going to let the clock wind down. They had no intention of running a play, nor were they in an offensive set or in a huddle. They were just scattered behind the line of scrimmage, and so was Miami. No one was doing anything, and then the flag came in. So, Butch Davis has a reason to be upset on the sidelines.
4 wideouts in for West Virginia. 1st and 10 with 22 seconds to go. They're at the Hurricane 38. And there's movement on the left side. Left offensive tackle came out of his stance. Matt Wilson, number 71. And that'll cost West Virginia 5, but it doesn't take the first down away.
A guy named...
So they'll move it back to the Hurricane 43, and it'll be 1st and 15. Well, last week Butch Davis said he was calm in the locker room. There wasn't a lot of screaming and shouting because effort wasn't the problem. It was execution. Today, I think he might do some yelling. I think effort is the problem right now, especially offensively. Defense has 3 turnovers. Bulger, quick 3-step drop, complete to Asageda. Run out by Leonard Myers at the Hurricane 36. Pickup of 7.
Frank, that's exactly the type of play that Miami is trying to accomplish on a blitz adjustment. You see Bulger catches the football in shotgun, really sets his feet and steps into the throw, but it's to the short side of the field. It looked like Miami's blitz adjustments are all going to the wide side of the field.
2nd and 8, now with 19 seconds left to go. Again, 4 wideouts in for Miami. Bulger out of the shotgun. Under some pressure, fires across the middle and incomplete. Going for Corey Ivy at the 25-yard line. And Bulger wound up on his keister as Damian Lewis put the wood to him.
Yeah, I bet Bulger thought he threw a strike because he saw Corey Ivy coming off the underneath coverage, and it was great anticipation by number 4, Mark Bulger, the senior quarterback, of throwing over the middle. The left side of your screen, you'll see Corey Ivy, but up the middle, you'll see the pressure. You see Corey Ivy right there. He thought he threw a perfect pass. He was going past Marquise Fitzgerald, but when you take a look at the replay, it looked like Coburn 22 broke open before Ivy did.
On 3rd and 8, Bulger throwing again down the middle, and did he short hop it to Ivy? Yes, he did. Officials say incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. Corey Ivy, pretty big target, 6'2", 190 senior out of Boca Raton. And let's see if Don Nealon just takes a shot at the end zone here with 10 seconds left in the half.
Well, they just need to get 7 or 8 yards to stop the clock. They have a timeout. The clock will stop with the movement of the chain. So really, you just want to get a pass of about 10 yards or 12 yards, stop the clock, and have your field goal team come on after the timeout.
And Mark Bulger now signals for a timeout as West Virginia will talk it over. Well, John, the good news if you're a Miami fan is last week it was 21-0 at halftime. Right now, if it stays the way it is, it's only 10-0. Obviously, you don't want to let West Virginia get any more points here, but offensively, Miami's just been stuck in neutral the whole first half.
And really, they had a golden opportunity early in the second quarter, midway through the second quarter, when the Miami defense got one of the 3 turnovers, finally in good field position, great field position, and Miami actually goes backwards on the set of downs and then misses the field goal. And Kenny Kelly on the sidelines waiting to get another opportunity to go in. That won't happen until the third quarter, but this Miami offense needs to go back in, huddle at halftime, and really try to figure out what's been going on offense. They're not winning the line of scrimmage battles, and really not a lot of running room between the tackles, and Kenny Kelly and the wide receivers have seemed to have been on the different page, you know, the entire first half.
I'm gonna harp on something, okay?
Go ahead, get on that soapbox, Frank.
Where's double 8? Where's double snowman? They have not thrown the ball once to Bubba Franks this half.
Yeah, we mentioned them in the open. We mentioned both tight ends, a big part of the offense. And when you're a quarterback that's struggling, the easiest pass on the field is to your tight end, really going down and running an option route or getting open early in the football game to get some confidence. Now, I do credit Miami with one thing. They tried to go into the shotgun to alleviate the pressure on Kenny Kelly and throwing quick hitches to the outside. But you have to have a complement to that.
But he's missing the throws, for one thing.
You're right. He's missing the opportunities that the offensive coaching staff are trying to provide him with.
4th and 8 for West Virginia. 10 seconds to go in the half. Again, rolling out. Bulger has a man open. It's complete to Ivy down to the 16-yard line. And West Virginia will have a shot at a field goal with 5 seconds left.
And again, Miami has no counter to Bulger leaving the pocket. They're cutting the defensive ends, and no one with pressure in the quarterback's face. The quarterback actually has 2 receivers that are wide open. You see a great cut block by Coburn. You see 2 wide receivers open. You see the short man, number 5, Antonio Brown, and you see the pass go to Corey Ivy, number 8.
Zach Anglin will hold. Jay Taylor will attempt from 33 yards away. Kick is away, has plenty of distance, and it is good. And that is the end of the first half. And after a half, it's a very flat Miami team 0, West Virginia with 13. And Miami just has not done anything offensively. I have 3 turnovers on defense, but West Virginia's controlled the game. We'll be back with our halftime highlights, interviews, and more after this. Back at halftime at the Orange Bowl, and I'm joined now by maybe the most famous former University of Miami football player. In terms of popularity, there's nobody like him right now in the world of sports entertainment. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, the defensive tackle from the early 90s. Welcome, Rock.
No doubt. Finally, the Rock has come back to the Orange Bowl. It's great to come back here. The mystique, just all the things, all the intangibles that made up the teams back then. Basically the same thing now, so it's great to be back.
I know you're still a big supporter of the program. Occasionally when you're in town, you go over to the weight room, work out. Some of the guys tell me they see you once in a while. Absolutely. Still a lover of Hurricane football.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you're a Hurricane, you're born and bred here in Hurricane mentality. From the time I came in to the time I left, you bleed orange and green. And it's a Cane thing you wouldn't understand. You would understand.
I understand.
You would understand.
That's right. The Rock knows I understand. Yeah. Let me tell you what, the popularity has just been amazing. It's just mushroomed for you. Why did it get so big so fast for you?
I think a lot of reasons. One, having passionate fans helps. All the fans of The Rock, very passionate, very devoted. And 2, in a character like The Rock, there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of substance. A guy just goes out there and he performs for one reason only, and that's just to entertain the fans. If The Rock wants to sing, he sings. If he wants to do whatever he wants to do, he just goes ahead and he does it. People appreciate that, the fans appreciate that, and they show The Rock every day. And it's like the ratings. They show with the ratings. 8, 9 rating, 10 million people a week.
I think those of us who know you always knew you would go into this. Your family, your father, Rocky Johnson, your uncles all wrestled. It wasn't a big leap for you after you left college. You played 1 year in Canada and then sort of devoted yourself to wrestling.
Right. Well, I think, you knew where I was headed. Everybody knew where I was headed. Coach Erickson knew where I was headed. I just talked to Warren Sapp the other day. It was funny, him and Kennard Lang. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see Kennard Lang tomorrow night. But everybody basically knew where I was going. We were here, and we all had one common goal, of course, and that was to win. But at the same time, and you know how it is, after we all graduate, we all kind of go our separate ways. So it was really no surprise that I got involved in sports entertainment, and nor was it any surprise that I did somewhat well.
It's got to be a rush when, you're up there and you say, can you smell? And the crowd finish the sentence with the Rock's got cooking. I mean, that's the kind of feedback that you got to strive on as an entertainer.
Well, as an entertainer, that's something that everybody wants. Everybody wants that gratification as an entertainer, so you're always looking for that. And in our industry, we have 20, 30, 40,000 people who will give the gratification instantly. In terms of, do you smell what the Rock is cooking, or, it doesn't matter what your name is, it's just things like that. So, again, it's a testament to the passion that the fans have of the WWF and around the world, for that matter.
Well, we did a piece in when you were in college, and you slammed me around a couple times. We're not going to recreate that today, although I do want you to tell our producer-director, Jeff Brenner, to know his role.
Well, Jeff Brenner, The Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth if you smell what's his Jeff? John?
Jeff
it
Brenner.
Doesn't matter what his name is, Frank.
You're absolutely right about that.
Smell what The Rock is cooking.
Rock, good to see you as always. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Take care of yourself.
The Rock from WWF. We'll be back with our halftime highlights and stats right after this here on Sports Channel. At halftime, it's West Virginia 13, Miami nothing. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you on Sports Channel. And 2 weeks in a row, John, befuddled trying to figure out a first half for the Miami Hurricanes. Really no good explanation for it against a team, as you said, on paper, they probably better than. But let's take a look at the numbers at halftime. Rushing yards, look at the pass yardage for Miami, 76. And Mark Bulger has creased him for 201 yards. First downs 14-5. West Virginia guilty of the 3 turnovers, but Miami just hasn't been able to take advantage.
Yeah, really, the turnovers have not been a hallmark or a staple point in this football game. Miami not being able to take advantage of the one they received on the 12-yard line. But total yards, Frank, take a look. 265 yards for the Mountaineers and only 119 for UM. That's something that has to turn around. The defense has played well enough. The offense just hasn't done enough in the first half to create any points.
Although I will say one thing, West Virginia averaging 192 yards in the air. They've already exceeded that in the first half. But it's still only 13-0. We'll see if the second week in a row Miami can pull off a comeback. We'll be right back with the second half kickoff after this from the Orange Bowl on Sports Channel. Ready to start the third quarter at the Orange Bowl. You're looking out on what's become a very sunny and cloudless sky here in Miami, Florida. It was raining this morning, but it cleared up about an hour before game time. Field is in great shape. So there's no excuses for Butch Davis and Greg Schiano and their team. They need to be playing better football, and they just are not right now.
Yeah, it's tough to describe, Frank, how they could come out and play really without emotion in this football game. They got by. I don't know how they got by last week. It was a miracle that they were even in that football game the way they played for 3 quarters. And they came out today thinking, hey, we revived our chance at a successful season, especially at the Big East Conference Championship. And now they come out and they're down 13 points to a team that barely got by against Temple with a kick return and a field goal late in the game last week.
Andy Crossland will kick it off. Sean Terry, whose brother Nate went out with a dislocated elbow on the first play from scrimmage and will not be back in this game. Sean Terry and Lewis Daniels back to receive as Crossland kicks off with the wind, pounds it deep, and that's going to go out of the end zone. In fact, he almost knocked it through the uprights. Take a look, if you can, if we can get a shot of the goalposts on the closed end of the stadium to our left. It looked like the wind has been blowing so much, those things are actually bent backwards.
They're tilted back, definitely. The wind's been rocking that goalpost back and forth all game, and actually when the wind blows, it goes back and actually elevates towards the stands, and when the wind stops, it actually comes back forward.
Yeah, it's almost like it's on a spring, but you're on that single support upright, and that's what will happen if there's a strong wind. They look almost normal right now. You really can't tell a lot from that angle, but from our vantage point, like right now, they just blew back. First and 10, West Virginia from their 20 as we start the third quarter. Mark Bulger, who changed his number from 10 to 4 this year in honor of his father, who played quarterback at Notre Dame. It was his father's number with the Fighting Irish. Well, Miami has chosen, with West Virginia having the option, West Virginia chose to receive. Miami elected to take the wind here in the third quarter. So Butch Davis feeling that this is when they need to get it done right now. Coburn the only running back. Play fake for Bulger. Wide open, the fullback, Anthony Green. Penalty flag down, and Green still on his feet at the 33-yard line. Finally shoved out by Mike Rumpf. Let's check out the call. Appears to be against West Virginia. Illegal downfield. So they'll wipe out the 13-yard gain. Don Nealon in his 20th year in Morgantown. He said he broke the cycle in West Virginia. It was either lose and get fired fast or win and go on to a better job, and he broke the cycle.
That's right. He's been there for a long time. As you said, 20 years, and he's done a great job. You see his record, winning percentage of .621, so he's done a good job at West Virginia, and I faced him as a player, and you always knew that he was going to prepare his team to win and come out and play hard.
So it'll be 1st and 15 after the penalty. First time the fullback, Anthony Green, had touched the ball today. Double wide receiver to the bottom of the screen. Green and Coburn in the eye behind Bulger. Coburn with the football. Hits the pile and will not go anywhere. He'll lose a yard. Damian Lewis, Nate Webster, Michael Barreau, all there for the Miami defense. Well, certainly stuffing the run, John, would be a good start for Miami.
Well, last week when they played so poorly at Boston College, the defense responded and came back out with 2 series where they went 3 plays and out. That's exactly what Butch Davis and Greg Schiano and this defense wants to do. You see Dan Morgan in the middle of the pile. You see Michael Rump coming in late and putting a hat on the running back, Colburn. But that's exactly what they have to do. Come out and go 3 plays and out and get great field position for the offense.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 15. Bulger with the play fake. Trying to move in the pocket, under pressure, throws complete. That's Coburn at the 20-yard line. Dan Morgan right there to make the tackle. Gain of 5. It'll bring up 3rd and 10. John, that time Miami didn't allow Bulger to move outside the tackle box.
No, it was just a play-action fake, and he wanted to go outside, but good positioning on the outside by number 93, Michael Barreau. He did a nice job. Nate Webster comes in the middle of that football field along with Dan Morgan to limit the gain. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10 for the Mountaineers.
Credit Webster with the primary tackle. 3rd and 10, West Virginia. 4 wide receiver formation. And movement along the line of scrimmage, and that'll cost the Mountaineers 5. I love these officials who, when 3 flags are down, they throw. The 4th guy throws a flag. Like nobody saw the first 3.
You might as well get in and be a part of something.
Start, offense, 5-yard penalty.
So that'll move it back to the 15 again. I love that. They almost feel it's almost their duty to throw the flag, even though there's 4 of them on the field already.
Well, this is the type of offensive output that West Virginia has been plaguing their production early in this football season. This is what I thought you'd see out of West Virginia. A lot of mental mistakes and mental errors and really stopping themselves early in the ball game. They haven't done that.
3rd and 15. Miami coming on a blitz. It's picked up. Pass complete to Brown, and he's blown up by Mike Rump. Mike Rump just blew him up, held it to a gain of 1.5 yards. And Antonio Brown still down.
I don't blame him for still being down. That's the 2nd big blow that Michael Rump has laid on Antonio Brown in this football game. Both times Antonio Brown had no idea that Michael Rump was coming from the secondary. This time really catches him off guard, had his back turned as Mark Bulger goes out. Just a quick play to the outside. As soon as he turns upfield, you see Mike Rump coming from that cornerback position. Brown had no chance to take this ball up the field. He was coming with a full head of steam and a full sprint towards Antonio Brown. And again, Antonio Brown is still down on the ground. And earlier in this football game, he almost more of a devastating shot. This time he had his legs tangled underneath him.
Looked like the right ankle collapsed underneath him.
Yeah, and it might be his hip as well. Just a big shot again by the cornerback, the sophomore, Michael Rump.
They're working on that right ankle. Antonio Brown, the 5'10", 170 sophomore out of Miami Central High School. 39 catches on the season coming in with 1 touchdown, plus another one on a punt return. 13 minutes exactly to go 3rd quarter. Well, maybe a little emotion out of the Miami defense there, John. And maybe that can get this team fired up. Mentioned Brown from Miami, one of 21 Florida guys on the West Virginia roster. Actually, West Virginia has 21 Floridians, 21 West Virginians, and 26 Pennsylvanians. Antonio Brown being assisted to the West Virginia sideline. It's a punting situation for the Mountaineers, and they're going to be kicking against the wind.
Frank, you would think Miami wants to come after the special teams of West Virginia right here. They have them pinned back inside the 20-yard line and try to block a kick here and turn the tide. They've done a good job coming out on the first 3 plays in defense. Let's see what the special teams can provide.
Mark Fazzolari to punt. Good snap. Gets the kick away. And toward the West Virginia sideline and out of bounds in West Virginia territory. Let's see where they'll mark it. Linesman on the far side walks to the 44, and that's where they'll spot it. 1st and 10 for Miami. Hurricanes with 12:45 left to go in the third quarter. They trail it 13-0 to the Mountaineers. We'll be right back.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received the highest frontal crash rating possible. 5 stars from the federal government. The new Chevy Impala. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Let's go for a drive.
Nice move. Offside. Right. Yes! Touchdown!
Where are the games you really want to see? On ESPN Game Plan on pay-per-view. See over 100 college football games, your favorite teams from the best conferences, no matter where you live. Order ESPN Game Plan for maximum college football. To order, call your cable company, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
Log on to SportsChannelFlorida.com for the next edition of Sports Chat Live, presented by Bell South. University of Miami running back James Jackson will be online Monday at 8 p.m. to answer your questions about the Hurricane season. Log on now for more details, SportsChannelFlorida.com. We've talked about Jekyll and Hyde for Miami. Look throughout the season now so far, and the discrepancies in yardage from half to half, not from game to game, but from half to half. And it's just incredible. Ohio State, a 90-yard difference, although they did control the second half of that game. That's the closest thing they've come to putting together 60 minutes. They didn't score in the second half. FAMU, well, you throw that one out the window. It's a 1AA team. The difference in Penn State, the difference at ECU, the difference in Florida State and in Boston College. And, well, we'll see what happens this game. But really, since that Ohio State game, the Hurricanes have yet to put together a solid 60 minutes of football against a Division I opponent.
Well, the good thing about that stat and about what we've seen in the first 30 minutes is they didn't waste it in the first half, Frank, offensively. If they've got 30 minutes left, you're going to see it right now with Miami down 13-0.
Standard personnel package for the Hurricanes. Wayne and Moss, the wide receivers. Frank's the tight end. McPartland and Jackson, the running backs. Fake to Jackson. Kenny with time. Pass down the middle, complete to Wayne at the 25. Reggie still going, looking for a block, and finally hauled down at the 17-yard line. Rick Sherrod, the safety, made the tackle, but Miami with a big play on first down off the play fake.
That's something they desperately needed to do in the first half. You have such talent at the wide receiver position, yet you saw 0 receivers going across the middle on crossing routes. This time, Bubba Franks clears out underneath and allows the wide receiver from right to left, Reggie Wayne, to come across the formation and then use his speed. It wasn't a great throw, but Kenny Kelly found a way to get the football down the field to Reggie Wayne. He stops for the football, and then he uses his speed, and a good block by Santana Moss on the outside to get a couple extra yards.
James Jackson with the handoff, breaks in to clear and a score from 17. It's JJ every day, all the way. James Jackson, touchdown Hurricane.
Wasn't sure if James Jackson was going to find the open room to the right side, but he's kind of stutter steps at about the 15-yard line and then explodes, and no one touches James Jackson in the open field. He looked healthy. He looked 100% on that play, Frank. A great patient run by James Jackson. It gets Miami back in this football game.
Andy Crossland on to attempt the extra point. I was about to say that the pass to Wayne was good for 27 yards, and then Jackson from 17. So Miami takes 2 plays to move in for the touchdown. Andy Crossland's conversion out of Zachary Hart-Hole is good. And with 12 minutes and 14 seconds left to go third quarter, Miami is back in the game. It's 13-7. The drive taking just 31 seconds.
Another quick strike by the Miami Hurricanes. Last week they scored 2 touchdowns in a matter of, I think, 14 seconds. This time they take all of 31 seconds for James Jackson to find some running room in the middle of that Mountaineer defense. Let's see. McPartland gets a great block on Barrett Green, and then it's all number 21 just finding a hole in the middle of those jerseys. No one touches him. And great blocking up front by Ty Wise and Martin Bibla. Take a look, the middle of your right side of your screen, a double team block just blows him right out of the middle of the line of scrimmage, and Mercier doing a good job. Joaquin Gonzalez on the right side also pinning his man to the outside, and then James Jackson going up the middle to put the Canes on the scoreboard.
7th touchdown of the year for James Jackson rushing the football. A look at the junior from Belglade. As I said, 7th touchdown rushing. He also has 1 receiving. And And now maybe this Orange Bowl crowd will get into it a little more and fire up the Hurricanes. It's 13-7. John, as we said, the good thing, as poorly as the offense played in the first half, the 3 turnovers helped keep West Virginia at bay. It was only 13-0. And hey, when you've come back from 28-0 the previous week, you say 13-0, that's easy.
We got this wrapped up.
Obviously, they got a lot of work to do. They have to hold down Bulger. Bulger has been shredding him in the first half. They have no sacks on Bulger, though they do have 2 interceptions. They've gotten close to sacks a couple of times, particularly on blitzes, and Matt Sweeney almost had him for a safety on the play that resulted in Myers' interception. Andy Crossland, who's been battling the hip flexor injury and has not been kicking off in recent weeks, kicked off to start the third quarter, and he'll do so again. Interesting that Jesse Olinger, who had been doing the kickoffs for Miami, he's a walk-on here. His brother John is a walk-on for the Mountaineers, also a kicker, and also had gotten a chance to kick off because Jay Taylor was battling a hip flexor injury. So a lot of similarities there, although neither brother has gotten into the ballgame today.
This is huge for Miami to score early in the third quarter, especially as we were talking about the Hurricanes deciding to take the wind in the third quarter. If they were going to get back into this football game and win with field position, they needed to do something offensively. They needed to do something defensively. 3 plays and out. They get instant field position, then 2 plays later, they score the first touchdown of the ball game.
Ball blown off the tee, so Crossland will have to reset it. Lewis Daniels, number 9, and Sean Terry, number 88. Will receive for West Virginia. Sean Terry, like his brother Nate Terry, rather, a product of Homestead High in South Miami-Dade County.
Andy Crossland will kick.
And Andy Crossland, the senior from Dallas, Texas, who missed a 32-yard field goal in the first half, will kick it off again. He drives this one, again with the wind at his back, deep and out of the end zone on the fly. That might be as far as Andy's ever kicked a kickoff. 1st and 10, West Virginia from the 20. Well, again, John, now it's the defense, their turn. You got to keep this field position and be able to use this win. Have West Virginia punt from deep in their territory into a strong win.
When you take a look at the defensive players that are on the field now, at least they have a little bit of hop in their step. They're all talking to one another. They're trying to motivate each other, and I think they're back into this football game. This is a team that plays when their back is directly against the wall. As you said last week, coming back from a 28-point deficit, and this week only 13 points, but the crowd's back into it. It looks like the defense is too.
On first down, Bulger with play action. Swings it out, it's fullback Green, takes a big hit. Chris Campbell held it to a gain of a yard. Oh, Chris Campbell just got all up in his grill, or as The Rock might say, he checked him directly into the SmackDown Hotel.
Yeah, it was a great play by Chris Campbell. The linebacker positioned the strong side. The fullback out of the backfield doesn't see him coming. You see 49, Anthony Green, and then whack. Out of the secondary, Campbell comes out of nowhere. You see him coming from the inside out. He has a beeline directly to Anthony Green and smacks him down only for a 2-yard gain.
2nd and 8, West Virginia. 3 wide receivers in the game. Bulger will throw it. Down the middle, pass is caught by Ivy, and he did a nice job hanging on at the 41-yard line. Marquise Fitzgerald there on the tackle, along with Ed Reed, who stays down. Might have got the wind knocked out of him. Ed quickly up and off the field.
There's one guy you got to stop, Frank, in this West Virginia attack. It's Mark Bulger and the wide receiver and tight end. That's the way that West Virginia is going to stay in this football game, to keep the lead and move the football down the field. Bulger's a senior quarterback. He completes a high percentage of his passes, and he looks for his big targets in Corey Ivy on the outside and Anthony Beck, the tight end, on the inside.
1st and 10 from the Mountaineer 41. Coburn. And down he goes for a loss. And again, it's Chris Campbell who drops him behind the line of scrimmage. Chris Campbell coming on like gangbusters. He had his first start in a Florida State game and played like he was a inexperienced sophomore, but the last 2 weeks he has really stepped his game up.
It's the first time all afternoon long, the West Virginia offensive line, they're all on the ground, and Miami's running to the football. You can clearly see that on the replay. Take a look at the white jerseys. Everybody's on the ground, and everybody in green is on their feet running to the football. That's great pursuit, and that's great determination by this Hurricane defense.
4 wide receivers in for West Virginia. Bulger faking to Coburn. Swings it out, complete to Sean Terry, and he's up near midfield to the 49-yard line. Picked up 10. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the Mountaineers.
That's some kind of throw by the quarterback. Mark Bolger did a great job of play action. Then he had the big defensive end right in his face, and he actually gets the football up and away, and the defensive end, it looked like Michael Breaux couldn't make a play on it, but yet he threw it right on the money on the outside to Terry, who makes the catch and comes up a couple yards short of the first down.
Numbers on Bolger, and as you said, a high percentage. 240 yards, and that's as well as he's played this year. 3 wideouts in on a 3rd and 2. Terry motioning down to the near side. Bolger will throw it over the middle, complete to Terry, dragged down by Mike Rumpf, but he picked up 4 yards and enough to move the chains.
That's a nice play by the Mountaineers offense. They bring Terry across the formation in motion. It's man coverage by Miami, so everybody's running from the short side of the field to the wide side. Then all they do is they bring him underneath, almost a little bit of a pick play. You see the tight end coming from left to right. Terry goes underneath him, and there's nothing but Mike Rumpf can do is watch him catch the football and secure the tackle.
First down Mountaineers at the Miami 47. 9:26 to go, 3rd quarter. West Virginia leads 13-7. On first down, Bolger will throw it again. Down the middle, complete to Ivy. Ivy inside the 20, and down he goes at the 16-yard line. Rumpf with the tackle. The pickup of 31.
I think Bolger's feeling it more going into the wind than with the wind. He's able to gauge his throws down the field. Just a simple post pattern. It looked like Mike Rumpf stopped running there. He wasn't on Corey Ivy down the middle of the field. Corey Ivy running at full speed. Mike Rumpf looked like he was jogging through the coverage, and then a dynamite throw down the middle of the football field. Never breaks stride, and thankfully for the Hurricanes, I think Ivy cuts back into Outblades. If he keeps running, it looks like he may score.
1st and 10, West Virginia, just outside the Miami 15. Coburn tries to go outside, runs into Al Blades and William Joseph, and they hold it basically to no gain, maybe a half a yard.
Frank, Miami doing a better job in this 3rd quarter defensively of getting off the Mountaineer blocks and really clogging up the running lanes. There's nowhere for Coburn to run the football so far in this 3rd quarter. Really, the only thing hurting the Canes now is they cannot get to Mark Bolger before he throws down the field to his wide receivers. That's what's killing the Canes right now.
They're not getting enough pressure with the front 4, and it's kind of risky to blitz against a 4 wideout formation, which West Virginia has in those passing situations. 2nd and 9. Bolger on the rollout. Under pressure, throwing back the other way for Becht. He makes the catch at the 5 and dropped at the 4. Dan Morgan on the tackle, flagged down on the far side of the field at the 18-yard line.
It might be a formation penalty. It looked like Becht is staying down. The big 6'6" senior, 265 pounds. They can't afford to lose him, and it's actually lining up in the neutral zone. It looked like Miami might have been offsides.
Well, the flag was thrown 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And if we were offside, I don't know why he'd throw the flag back there. We will wait and see as they look at Anthony Becht, the big senior tight end out of Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania. 21 catches coming into the game for a 12-yard average and 3 touchdowns. It's a nicely designed play as they roll to the left and throw back to the tight end to the right.
Yeah, they had 2 tight ends set up to the left side. Bolger looking like he's going to break contain, which he's done all afternoon long. And then Becht makes the one-handed right-handed grab, and his right ankle, or his left ankle actually, gets caught underneath Dan Morgan. Watch his left ankle get caught underneath Dan Morgan right there. Oh, it bends it back. That's a pretty good one right there, Frank. It looks like he's going to stay down for quite a while.
Penalty was on Miami, and West Virginia will accept the penalty. They lose a couple of yards, but they save the down. The concern right now for West Virginia is Anthony Becht, their big tight end. And West Virginia has used their tight end today. Miami has not.
And that's a huge weapon, especially if you have a productive guy, and both of these teams have 2 tight ends that you desperately want to get into your offense and get in early. Becht came into the game with 21 catches for 267 yards, 3 touchdowns and a 12.7 yard per catch. And on the flip side of that, you have big Bubba Franks. He came in with 22 catches, and his average was right around 10 yards per catch and 2 touchdowns. So the tight ends for both of these teams, very productive. Just as you said, Frank, you want to use Miami's a little bit more than they have this afternoon.
Becht still down, and well, you got to say that it didn't look pretty. it could be badly sprained, or I hesitate to say even broken, the way it twisted underneath him.
Dan Morgan had that ankle pinned underneath him, and they kind of slid towards the sidelines, and the ankle was really in a bad spot.
Well, he is putting some weight on it, so that's a good sign. Seems to be walking without much difficulty. Whether he can come back and play, it's a separate question. But I know I've rolled on my ankle, and I'll tell you what, for those first 30 seconds, you're in agony. You're in complete agony.
I'm a baby when it comes to ankle sprains. My ankles aren't very big to begin with.
The ball moved to the Miami 5 on the penalty. It'll be 2nd and 4. They can get a first down at the 1. 8 minutes, 10 seconds left to go, third quarter. Miami has cut the 13-0 West Virginia lead to 7, but now the Mountaineers threatening to come back. And Dan Morgan headed toward the locker room also. Well, he's been having hamstring problems all year. He got the ice bag out on maybe something with his left hand. It appears they're putting ice on his left hand. Here's the run. Coburn around the right side, and Avon Coburn. It's Avon calling for a touchdown, West Virginia.
That's one way to answer Miami, is to come right back after Miami scores its only touchdown of the game. West Virginia making the score 19-7. Coburn outside had some great blocks in front of him. Looks like West Virginia will go for 2 points on the conversion, but they answer Miami's touchdown with one of their own.
Well, they changed their mind. They were going to go for 2, and now they send Taylor on to kick the extra point. 19-7 West Virginia, and timeout being signaled by the officials. There's another West Virginia player.
Terry Dixon, it looked like, big number 72. I believe that's Dixon out there.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes those 7 and 2s get stretched so big with those linemen you can't tell who it is.
Let's take another look at the touchdown run from Avon Coburn, freshman out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
You see Terry Dixon out in front trying to throw a block on number 20, Edward Reed, just lunging ahead, and actually provided enough room for Avon Coburn to get into the end zone. That really slowed down the pursuit of Nate Webster, and he actually uses his speed to get out to the outside. Beats Chris Campbell to the front pylon, and it's 6 points for the Mountaineers.
Coburn, 16 carries, 66 yards as they work on Dixon's left shoulder. Taking a look at that replay, John, I don't know if we can see it again from the end zone, but Nate Webster, he looks like he's just kind of He looked like he was just kind of gliding along rather than, what he normally does is shoot through that hole when he sees who has the football. And you mentioned Mike Rumpf in the coverage before, just kind of gliding along in the pattern. Watch 52, the middle linebacker. Okay, right there. He's just kind of gliding right there instead of shooting through the gap.
I think he's waiting for, he thinks that he has outside help with Edward Reed, and he's going to wait for the running back Coburn to cut inside. And actually, there was a good play by Terry Dixon. He is such a big body that Nate couldn't come from inside out. And number 20, Edward Reed, was on the ground already. That was a good play by West Virginia.
There's Taylor's conversion kick, and it is good. And with 7 minutes, 52 seconds, West Virginia has regained the 13-point lead. It's the Mountaineers 20, Miami 7, 7:52 left to go, third quarter. Back with more action on Sports Channel right after this.
Get away with more in the Mazda 626 LX V6. Get away with the control of a powerful V6 engine. Get away with the lowest priced Japanese brand sedan with the performance of a V6. A V6 that makes every mile feel like you're in hot pursuit. Get away with a longer warranty than Toyota or Honda. Get away in the Mazda 626 LX V6. And right now, with $22.50 cash back, get away with even more.
I'm Ned Smith, host of Sunday Morning NFL. For the past 4 years, Sunday Morning NFL has been the cornerstone of Sports Channel Florida's Sunday morning program. We're up early before the alphabet letter networks are, bringing you the latest on the Miami Dolphins, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. You want to know the latest about Mark Brunell, Dan Marino, Trent Dilfer, join Dave Word, John Conjimmy, Frank Frangie, and myself as we bring you a live 90 minutes of Sunday Morning NFL right here on Sports Channel Florida.
Par, birdie. Whoa, par? Must be a Golf Magazine subscriber. Call now for your free trial issue and learn how to shave 3, 4, or 5 strokes off your game. Add 20 yards to your tee shots. Improve your short game. Shoot lower and play the best golf of your life. Call now for your free trial issue of Golf Magazine. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all for just $19.97. Plus, get this terrific Golf Magazine gear bag free with your paid subscription.
Call 1-800-848-9339 now.
Join us for a day of golf on January 17th, 2000 at the Weston Hills Country Club for Hurricanes Golf Classic. For sponsorship opportunities, call the Hurricane Club at 1-800-GO-CANES. Taylor's kickoff to Andre King at the 8. Andre is necktied and flags fly in. Number 19, Boo Sensabaugh, the backup defensive back, just threw a lariat around Andre King. And unlike last week at Boston College when one of the defensive backs, and this is going to go against Miami. They pointed against Miami. So again, mistakes on special teams really hurting the Hurricanes. A hold on the Hurricanes.
Just when you thought Miami was going to get a break on special teams, Boo Sensabaugh comes in and actually doesn't get the face mask. He just gets him underneath the chin strap and wraps him around. And it looked like the holding took place. It looked like Chevin Marshall, number 41. Right there, the push in the back. There's no need for the block either. He was already beaten.
The ball goes back to the Miami 18-yard line. 1st and 10 Hurricanes. Double tight end formation. Jackson the only running back. Fake to Jackson. Kelly flips it to a wide open Will McPartland, and he too is hog-tied by Sensabaugh. Let's just say he likes to tackle high. Up at the 24-yard line, it's a pickup of 6. Boo Sensabaugh, senior out of Norton, Virginia. He keeps that up, he's going to get a face mask penalty.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting his tackling lessons from Gary Tompkins. I remember 2 years ago that he ended up getting one of the Miami players on the sidelines, just hog-tied him right around the collar, and that's a dangerous tackle for the person that's getting tackled.
First down for Miami, the gain out to the 24-yard line. Kelly steps up, throwing deep for Reggie Wayne, and that ball knocked down by Scooter Davis. Good defensive play by Scooter Davis, cutting inside Reggie Wayne.
Nice timing by Scooter Davis. He was just riding number 87, Reggie Wayne, on the post route. You see a nice break on the ball right there. Reggie Wayne has his man, but the ball was just a little bit underthrown, and that ball's out in front. Reggie Wayne doesn't have to slow up for the football, but a nice play on the corner by Davis.
2nd and 10 Hurricanes from their 24. Give to Jackson with room. Jackson across the 25 up to the 30-yard line, picks up about 6. It'll be 3rd and 4. James Davis, backup safety out of Stuart, Florida, number 10, making the tackle.
And that's a play by James Jackson. If he's 100%, I think he just runs by James Davis, the backup free safety. Take a look, he stumbles in the hole, and the hole is huge. Right here, looks like James Jackson never gets his feet underneath him, and it allows Davis, number 10, to come in and make the tackle. But if he doesn't stumble, it looks like Green, number 33, the linebacker, he has to make the tackle, but probably 5 yards up the field.
Under 7 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. 3rd and 4, Miami. Kelly out of the shotgun. Kelly under pressure. Kelly on the run. Kenny Kelly will have a first down. Time to get down, son.
Fumble.
Lost the football. Big scramble at the 38.
I think West Virginia has the football, Frank.
He didn't take my advice. I said it's time to get down, and he didn't. Still unpiling him.
Well, that was almost shades of Penn State when Kenny Kelly was running for the first down, and he has plenty of yards and doesn't slide. Looks like Miami has the football.
Well, what a break that is.
That's a huge break. And that's
like Ty Wise on the bottom of the pile got it back.
That's one thing you have to learn as a quarterback. Get what you can, and when you can go no farther, get down and protect the football. Kenny Kelly makes a great play of just eluding the Mountaineer defenders, but right here, there's nowhere he's going to go to make another 5 or 10 yards. Just get down with the football. Right hand comes in, a Mountaineer defender strips it, and then somewhere under that pile is number 64, Ty Wise, with the football.
Yeah, that's just awareness. If you've got the first down, you're running on a bum ankle, get down and go back and huddle up. Jackson with the handoff. Jackson with a flag down. This play's going to come back. He picked up 16, but it's going to come back. There's a West Virginia helmet lying on the ground.
Ty Wise made a devastating block in the middle of that football field, and I don't know if he's going to get called for the hold, but he had his man, and he was burying him on the 40-yard line around the hash, and that's right where the flag was thrown.
Well, this will cost Miami a first down and some big yardage. They would have had it in West Virginia territory.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Take another look. Let's watch the middle here.
It's hard to tell. It looks like the holdings in the middle of the field on Barrett Green. It may have looked like one of the guards, possibly Martin Bibla. That was the only guy that looked like he had his man and was standing up where the flag was. But everybody else kind of was on the ground and doing a good job for the interior line of Miami. There are the penalties. 7 penalties for Miami for 53 yards. 4 penalties for West Virginia for 19.
Moves it back to the 26 where it's 1st and 22. Kelly with plenty of time. Down the middle to Bubba Franks, who makes an outstanding catch up at the 44-yard line. First time they've gone to Franks today. Chris Edmonds on the tackle, but that's a big gain. It gives Miami a 2nd and about 4. Picked up 18.
And they make it tough on the big fella, too. They only go to him one time today, and they make him go up the middle and go up for the football. Watch this one-handed grab. The left paw just goes right up, pins it on his helmet, and then really holds on to the football. Looks, Chris Edmonds, number 41, was trying to strip the football. Watch this big catch, and watch 41 come in, tries to strip the football, but Bubba is too strong. He puts it away for the Canes.
2nd and 4, Miami from the 44. Jackson through the hole and has a first down at midfield. Ryan Brady, number 43, along with Barrett Green, number 33, making the tackle for West Virginia. Give Jackson 6, and the Hurricanes will move the chains with 5:08 left to go, third quarter.
Nice patience by Jackson. Waits for Richard Mercier, the pulling offensive left guard, to get out in front of him. They moved the chains when you thought Miami was going backwards with a couple of penalties. Bubba Franks makes a big catch over the middle, and you see James Jackson, his number 70 yards on 15 attempts, 4.7 average, and 1 score.
From midfield, Hurricanes with the double tight end. Fake to Jackson. Kelly on the rollout. And short hops it into Reggie Wayne. Tough throw going to your left when you're on a bad ankle, John.
Yeah, that's a tough pass, but he had his receiver open down the middle. I'd like to see them on first down. If they're going to break contain, that's fine. Maybe make an easier pass for Kenny, but the wide receivers coming over the middle, or Bubba Franks down the middle on first down. A couple plays ago, Reggie Wayne was wide open down the middle. He makes a big catch, and you see Bubba Franks, last play, comes in and makes a big catch down the middle. So I'd like to see the wide receivers more involved on first down, off the play action.
Double tight end again for the Hurricanes. Moss, the only wide receiver in the ball game. Blitz coming. Miami picks it up. Intercepted by Bastine. Perlo Bastine bringing it back and tripped up and a flag down. Kenny Kelly made the tackle at the Miami 40. Well, Kenny just has not been sharp most of today, John. Just hasn't been there.
No, he hasn't had his A game, but that ball was thrown right to Bastine, number 3. Looked like a quick slant with the tight end going out in the flat. West Virginia will get called with the clip, but that's after the interception, I do believe, Frank.
That's correct. West Virginia will have the football. Perlo Bastine coming up with his 4th interception of the season. Let's take another look at the INT.
Yeah, just really right behind Santana Moss. The play was going to the inside. Moss already on the inside. Bastine was to the outside. Kenny Kelly makes the tackle. We'll see if we can take a look. You see number 11, Tompkins, coming in on the blitz. The backers were outside. Really, Santana Moss looked like he was open to the middle of the football field. The ball was just
it was 4 yards behind him. It's 4 yards behind him. First down, West Virginia at the 38. Cooper Rigo. Rigo skips to the outside. Leonard Myers making the tackle at the 44-yard line. That's a gain of 6. 4:24 left to go, third quarter. It's starting to look bleak for Miami. They're down 20-7, and really no rhythm offensively with the exception of one series today.
And that was set up by the defense going 3 plays and out and getting great field position because the wind is so brisk coming from the east. Miami got the field position and took advantage of it.
3 wide receivers in as West Virginia tries to spread the Canes out. Again, all kinds of time for Bulger. Now being chased. This gets rid of it, intercepted by Mike Rumpf. And that's a poor decision by Mark Bulger. Mike Rumpf, his 2nd interception. So he giveth and he taketh away. and looks like a West Virginia player down. It is Bulger back at the 23-yard line.
And that's something you don't think the senior quarterback's going to do. It looked like he was just going to wind up and throw it into the West Virginia bench, but actually threw it right into the hands of Mike Rump. Good coverage down the field for the Canes. Bulger had plenty of time back there to move around and throw the football away. You see the play action, wants to go down the field, then eludes the pocket, goes to the left. Right here you think he's just going to load up and throw it out of bounds, but he actually threw it for his receiver to try to make a play down the football field. Number 80 it looked like on the reception, but Mike Rump's the only guy that makes a play on the football. He was aware and he got it close. That's a ball that should never be thrown, Frank.
No way. Bulger is a smarter quarterback than this. But you look at his numbers this year, and coming into the game, John, I think he had 5 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Exactly right. Five touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and that's just a bad play. And it looked like possibly, Frank, he might be cramping up. Didn't look like he had an injury. He's holding his left calf.
So that appeared to be a cramp, but
he had a brain cramp on the play just before that, though, throwing it down the football field. That should never happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Congemi tells it like it is when it comes to quarterbacks.
Well, I've done that. I've had plenty of those in my heyday. And you see Don Nealon saying, hey, John Congemi used to throw those to us. What about why are you throwing
That's
it
right.
to
He was the
guy?
coach at West Virginia when you played at Pittsburgh.
That's right.
There's Bulger's numbers today. Certainly impressive percentage-wise, and the yardage of 3 interceptions will have Don Nealon scratching his head. Going, why are you throwing that ball? Just throw it out of bounds. There, see the motion he made with his hand? Just throw it away.
That's right. Just
throw it away.
Let us line up again. Don't give it back to him. And there's Mike Rump. You see his 2nd interception this season.
Actually, his 3rd, his 2nd today. He had one in the Ohio State game. So that is his 3rd, and that leads the ball club. Well, Miami's got to get something done offensively now, John, with 3:52 left to go. Kenny Kelly remains in the game at quarterback. Where is the Hurricane running game today? You know what other thing I find amazing is last game against Boston College, Miami had 1 holding penalty called. Today they've had 1 holding penalty. Neither BC or West Virginia has been flagged for holding in the last almost 7 quarters. That's astounding to me that a defensive team can go 7 quarters without either forcing a holding penalty or having the officials ignore it.
What's more amazing, West Virginia has 4 turnovers. Miami only has 1, and West Virginia is leading this game 20-7.
Well, the Miami offense just hasn't been able to take advantage of the good field position when they've had it. And 2 of the turnovers came inside the 10-yard line on 1st down. Kelly, complete to Franks. There's the man, double snowman, number 88. Takes it for a gain of 14 to the West Virginia 38.
What Kenny has to understand is when Bubba Franks is going from the left side of the field to the right side, he's going to get there, but he just has to be a little patient. He's running through the linebackers, and you see his numbers on the season. Bubba has 3 catches today, but you have to be more patient with him going from right to left. Take a look, right side of your screen. He's going through these linebackers. Kenny's ready to throw the football down the field, but he hung, and he had enough patience in the pocket to let Bubba run his route, get it to the outside, and move the chains.
Scooter Davis had to make the tackle. Gain was 14. 1st down Canes at the Mountaineer 38. Jackson on the trap play. Jackson will get a couple of yards as really Fulcher missed the trap block. And again, Mondrell Fulcher having all kinds of problems blocking from that fullback spot. David Carter made the tackle, number 7.
And that should be an easy block for Mondrell Fulcher. He's coming from one side of the formation to the other, which means the defensive end's really not going to see him till the last minute. And it looks like Mondrell's almost closing his eyes or ducking his head. He's missing the block completely. He's whiffing on it.
2nd and 8, Miami. Moss and Wayne both set to the bottom of your screen. Franks the tight end to the right of the formation. West Virginia a little bit confused on the snap. Kelly, plenty of time. To Franks inside the 20 to the 13-yard line. David Carter had the coverage, but could not prevent the completion.
Well, Frank, at halftime, you asked me where Double Snowman was hiding, and you wanted to see him get the football. Well, he's getting a dose of it in this 3rd quarter. Kenny Kelly found his go-to guy. Big number 88, Bubba Franks, who mentioned in the open the tight ends would be a big part of this football game. Kenny Kelly just shuffling to his right and then throws a strike over number 7. It looked like on the defense for West Virginia, they do a good job of hanging in the pocket. The offensive line, credit the protection and credit Kenny Kelly just sliding to his right and throws a strike to Bubba Franks.
Now the officials signal their timeout. There may be a problem with the clock or the play clock. Kelly, Daniel Franks, as we call him, Bubba, 3 catches, 55 yards. I call him the double snowman for that 288 on his jersey. And that's the guy I always look to. John, you and I have been rather vocal on some of these broadcasts about Frank's getting more of the football, and this year he finally is. His 21 catches coming into the game exceeds his total from all of last year when we felt he was underutilized.
Well, he's a big part of this football game and a big part of this offense, and you got to get him involved early and often, and that's what Miami's trying to do in this third quarter.
2:27 left to go in the third. Canes trail at 20-7. First down from the West Virginia 13. Double tight end for the Canes. Give this to Jackson, rather Portis. Clinton Portis to the 10-yard line. Pickup of 3. Greg Robinette, number 99, in on the tackle. Bring up a 2nd and 7. Hey, John, that's the situation. First down in the red zone where I like to see play action.
Well, it's a good opportunity to do that, but that time there was a big hole. I was surprised Portis didn't get more out of that than he did. But, you know, play action to Bubba Franks is a good call in that spot anytime.
2nd down and 7 for the Hurricanes. Both wide receivers to the bottom of the screen. Kelly gives to Portis. Again, there was a hole to start with, but it closed up pretty quickly. He got 2. Sensabaugh there, but the primary tackler, number 48, Mark Thurston. Big 6'3", 255 sophomore out of Miami High School.
Well, Frank, you make a good point. You know, you get down here by throwing the football, and then on consecutive downs, they kind of run it up the gut or off tackle and don't get much. They get about 5 yards in 2 carries. It is tougher to throw the football the closer you get to the end zone, but I think you have to utilize your wide receivers and your tight end and your play action a little bit more on 1st and 2nd down.
Just one wide receiver in. It's Reggie Wayne to the top of the screen on this 3rd and 5.
Look for Kenny to play fake and break contain.
Gets a good block. Flipping it to the end zone. Bubba Franks, touchdown Miami. Well, Kenny had his choice there. He had McPartland in the short flat and Franks on the high side. It's that high-low, John, that Miami loves to run.
Yeah, it's a great play down inside the plus zone, inside the 20. Kenny Kelly, his last 4 receptions or his last 4 pass completions, all by Bubba Franks, none bigger than that one. Kenny Kelly throws a strike to the back corner of the end zone, and a tired Bubba Franks, you see him with a couple hands on the hips. He makes the touchdown reception and puts the Canes back into the game, 20-13.
3rd touchdown catch of the year for Bubba Franks. Kenny Kelly talking it over with Butch Davis as Andy Crossland in to attempt the conversion out of the Zach Hart hold, and the kick is up and is good. And with 51 seconds left to go in the third, it's back to a 6-point lead. West Virginia 20, Miami 14. So Butch Davis's decision to take the win in this third quarter, John, appears to have paid off.
Really does. Reggie Wayne comes down and tries to open up the outside with his motion. Kenny Kelly just drifting to his right, had an open Bubba Franks on Gary Thompson, the Miami native, but you see Bubba a little excited about getting into the end zone. Kenny does a nice job just retreating from the line of scrimmage. He's had McPartland short, Bubba deep, and does a nice job of taking the football. You have to credit James Jackson with the block also as well. After the play action, watch 21 come in and cut the linebacker you see there. Does a great job of getting him upended. And then just a pass to the corner of the end zone. Looked like he got the block on Lake, number 87, the defensive end for the Mountaineers. And Bubba Franks get some Gatorade, get some, yeah, I'll take 2 of those. I had a good series that time. The scoring drive, 6 plays, 52 yards, took 3 minutes and 1 second. And Franks had 3 receptions on the drive for 45 yards.
Puts him up to 24 catches on the year. And now 3 touchdowns. So the offense converting there after the Mike Rumpf interception, the turnover which set Miami up on their own 48-yard line, and they went, as you mentioned, John, 52 yards. And Andy Crossland will kick it off with the win. So hopefully the Miami defense will be able to pin West Virginia back and at least get them to kick before this third quarter is over into a win. Good look at Andy Crossland, the senior out of Dallas, Texas. That's had a very up-and-down career at UM's, taken a lot of public criticism. Last week, of course, the game-winning field goal for the first time ever. Dan Morgan coming back onto the Miami sideline with his left hand wrapped up. So we'll see if he gets back in on this defensive series. High pooch kick, trying to get West Virginia to make a mistake. Sean Terry at his 20. Bursts through a hole. Sean Terry up across the 40 to the 44-yard line. I don't understand that, John. I really don't. And a Miami Hurricane down. It appears to be Marquise Fitzgerald at the 24-yard line. But with the wind at your back, why pooch it short?
I don't know.
Now you've given West Virginia great field position. I guess they were trying to get West Virginia to make a mistake, trying to kick it to one of the up guys, but he didn't kick it short enough to where the up guy had to handle it. Oh, Marquise took a shot to the head there.
And a great return there by Terry, number 88. takes it right up the Miami sideline down the right side of the football field. And you can see an intentional pooch kick, and I'd take my chances with my defense going 3 and out to return the football. Now, that sounds good after the play is over, but I think I would have done that before the play.
Well, I was saying before, you know, hope the Miami defense pins them and get them to punt before the quarter's over.
I agree with you, Frank, because you've got 42 seconds left to go. If you can go 3 plays and out, you might even consider using a timeout to make them punt into the wind.
There's 42 seconds left to go in the third quarter. West Virginia leading 20-14. Let's take one more look at the hit from one of the blockers on Marquise Fitzgerald, right side of the screen, right, boom, there.
Looked like Corey McIntyre, a backup linebacker, came in and just drilled Marquise Fitzgerald. Marquise is up, but that's a forearm shiver right to the grill. You see number 27 Fitzgerald bouncing off the field now. He ran off under his own power, but that was a big hit by the special teams of West Virginia. And you say, hey, I need some smelling salts around here.
First down, Mountaineers at their 44
one.
With good field position. I just say, hey, you got the win, kick it out of the end zone, you don't take your chances. Bulger on the rollout, under pressure. Throws to his fullback, Plants, complete into Miami territory, and he's run out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Picked up 7 on first down. Big Clint Hurt, number 99, out there following the fullback, made the tackle.
You can see Miami's tried to make the adjustment of not letting Mark Bulger get the corner with such ease as he did in the first quarter, or the first half. You see Clint Hurt, number 99, you mentioned chasing down the tackle, but they're doing a better job on the corners, not letting Mark Bulger have the corner with no one in his face to throw the football down the field.
2nd and 3 for the Mountaineers. Ball just inside Miami territory. Coburn with the football and a little bit of a hole to the Miami 45. Michael Burrow and Damian Lewis combining on the tackle, but that is enough for a West Virginia first down.
And that should be the last play. Well, they have 30 seconds left, so they will have to run one more play, moving the chains. The clock will stop, but Miami will not have that wind in the fourth quarter at their back. They'll have to play good defense and win with special teams in field position.
Marquise Fitzgerald back in the ball game after that errant knockout shot, but he is back in there right now in the Hurricane defense, number 27, sophomore out of St. Petersburg. 3 wide receivers in for West Virginia on a 1st and 10, and Bulger out of the shotgun from the Hurricane 45. Bulger with some time to the hash mark. That's complete to Sean Burton, his backup tight end. Dan Morgan there on the tackle along with Leonard Myers. Pickup was a little over 4 yards. And that is the end of the third quarter from the Orange Bowl. We'll go to the final 15 minutes. It's West Virginia 20, Miami 14. Back with the fourth quarter from the OB right after this on Sports Channel. Back at the Orange Bowl, 20-14 West Virginia, 15 minutes to go. Mountaineers have it 2nd and 6 at the Miami 41-yard line. John, go back to the kickoff after the last Miami touchdown where Miami tries the pooch kick. We just failed to see the wisdom in that because with the wind, the ball is going to get to the return guys. If you're going to pooch kick, you pooch kick into the wind because it's going to bring the ball back toward your guys who are covering the kickoff. And if it hits the ground, you got a better chance to recover it.
Well, I think your defense is playing well enough, too, that you want to give them no opportunity to return the football. You had about 42 seconds left to go before the fourth quarter. And if you can go 3 plays and out, you might even consider using a timeout to pin West Virginia back. And if you get the ball around midfield, that's terrific. It doesn't matter which way you're going. But now West Virginia has the ball right around the 40-yard line, and Butch Davis has something to contemplate in the fourth quarter. They're down by 6. You see stats through 3 quarters. Rushing yards pretty even, but total yards totally in the favor of West Virginia. 365 passing yards. Miami only with 177. West Virginia 291. And you see the turnovers 4-1, but 2 of those turnovers Miami could have put the football into the end zone, did not take advantage of.
They scored after 1 Mike Rumpf interception, but you go back to the first half after the Myers interception at the West Virginia 12, and they got no points out of it. Today's attendance, 30,310 at the Orange Bowl, and we're ready to go here in the fourth quarter. Miami defense has to come up with a stop here. They're against the wind in the fourth quarter, Miami is. And a look at Mark Bulger, who has 3 wideouts in his formation on this 2nd and 6 with Avon Coburn, the running back. Coburn with the football. Coburn will get about 3. Nate Webster and Michael Burrow on the tackle will bring up 3rd and 2.
Frank, if you're Miami right now, you have to be aware on the defensive front. Bolger's had a penchant for drawing them off sides in the first half. You have to be aware of not drawing off sides, not staying on side. Watch the football, especially the down guys that are over the ball.
3rd and 2. West Virginia sends 2 wideouts to the bottom of the screen. Eye in the backfield. Coburn runs into his own blocker, and he'll go down for a loss. Edward Reed dropped him for a 3-yard loss because the defensive line just surged forward and sent the West Virginia offensive line back into his face. Terry Dixon simply got shoved back.
Well, there was a lot of white jerseys going backwards, and that Miami defense came up big. Watch the surge of this defensive line. They pushed the center way back. It looked like big number 72, Terry Dixon, was wearing the wrong color jersey. He absolutely tackled his own guy about 4 yards deep in the backfield.
Miami in punt safe. Do not jump offside here. Fazzolari will aim for the far sideline. Sends it inside the 10 and into the end zone. So a good break there for Miami. And that'll bring out to the 20-yard line. Miami will have it 1st and 10 from their 20. 13:45 left to go. Butch Davis's Canes trail it by 6.
It seems like they were thinking about it from the beginning.
In the 1930s, they built their first safety test vehicle.
In 51, they patented front and rear crumple zones.
In 1960, they patented their safety steering system.
And pioneered anti-lock brakes in 78.
In 1997, they built a more crash-compatible SUV.
Now they have vehicles with 8 airbags.
Because one thing has always been most important.
No one looks at the markets with a more insightful eye than Barron's, offering timely coverage of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, everything investors need to stay informed. Subscribe now and you'll also receive this Barron's Stock Evaluator free. It lets your computer help you turn money into wealth. Get 13 weeks of Barron's and the Stock Evaluator, all for only $39. Call now toll free.
800-334-6600. That's 800-334-6600.
Be a part of Saturday Morning Playbook on Sports Channel Florida. The lineup includes Saturday morning college kickoff at 10 with hosts Frank Franchi, Brady Ackerman, and Terry Norville. The Jim Levitt Show is at 11, followed by the Butch Davis Show with that guy Frank Fort. And the Big Ten, and the Big Ten Game of the Week at 12. It's all right here on Sports Channel Florida. James Jackson of the Hurricanes walking around on the sidelines, and he does not have his helmet on. He's been stretching his lower back and being checked by the trainers. He's jogging a little bit, but Clinton Portis in the game at tailback right now, and of course with Jared Payton back in Chicago, Miami really down to 2 scholarship tailbacks. They do have another one in Darrell Williams, who's a walk-on. You see Jackson with 72 yards today, but right now it's Clinton Portis in the game. Miami 1st and 10 from their 20. Standard personnel package for Miami. Portis with the football. Portis, conscious of hanging on to it, gets 4 yards. 43 Ryan Brady and 34 Corey McIntyre combining on the tackle. John, we've seen this against East Carolina when Portis had the big 140-yard plus game. The coaches said if he'd have been a little more experienced, he probably could have broken a couple, but he's really conscious of covering the football and hanging on and not turning it over, and it probably cost him a few yards, but clearly it's hard to criticize a guy for hanging onto the football and not wanting to turn it over. 2nd and 6 Hurricanes. Double tight end in now. Franks and Fulcher. Fake to Portis. Kenny on the run. Throws it downfield, complete to Andre King, his first catch of the day at the Miami 39-yard line. That is plenty for a first down.
That was a great job by Kenny Kelly and great timing by Andre King. The key to that play was Kenny Kelly threatened the line of scrimmage. The defense didn't know if he was going to throw the football or pass the football. Watch Kenny, he picks up speed like he's going to tuck. That makes a linebacker commit, and it opens up the passing lane on the outside. Gary Tompkins has to go off into the flat, and Bastion, number 3, the cornerback, looking deep. A great break off of the play of the route by number 84, Andre King.
Ball just shy of the Miami 40-yard line. Double tight end again for the Hurricanes. To try and pound it with Portis. Portis slices through, almost lost the football and picks up 9. Corey McIntyre, the middle linebacker, making the tackle. One of the Mountaineers tried to strip the football and almost got it to come loose. Take another look at that run and watch Portis just hanging on.
Nice strong run by the freshman tailback. A good cut on the inside. You see the football trying to get stripped by Rick Sherrod, number 27, but he was strong enough, was Portis, to hang on to the football. You see his season statistics. 172 yards on 39 rushes, a 4.4 average, and 3 touchdowns for the freshman running back.
12:29 to go, fourth quarter. Miami down 6, 1st and 10 from their 49. Again, double tight end, both to the left side of the formation. Kelly with play action. Plenty of time, down the sideline, caught by Wayne at the 25. Scooter Davis had the coverage, but he was well off Reggie Wayne.
Scooter Davis was running in circles in the Mountaineers secondary around the 20-yard line. Just a great route, in and out, a corner route by Reggie Wayne. First, the play action by Kenny Kelly, and Reggie Wayne breaks to the inside, and you see Scooter Davis way on the inside of the numbers. Watch the ISO on the outside. First he'll make a move to the post for Wayne, and then Scooter turns at the same time, doesn't wheel around quick enough, and it's an easy pitch and catch for the Hurricane offense.
27 yards on the completion of Reggie Wayne. First down, Canes at the West Virginia 24. Again with the double tight end. This is Portis. Portis gets 5, 6, 7 yards before he's tripped up by Gary Tompkins.
Well, now the Miami offensive line taking a little bit of control on the running attack. A lot of white jerseys on the ground for the Mountaineer defense, and Portis a lot of running room right up the gut of the Mountaineer defensive front.
Kenny Kelly, by the way, 8 of 11 this half for 139 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown.
Great job by Wise and some of the guys up front, 56. You also see Eric Schnupp in the football game for the Hurricanes up front, doing a nice job providing running room for Clinton Portis, 33 yards on the afternoon.
Again, Miami with that double tight end, and again, Portis has the football and has a crease. Portis inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line. He'll have enough for a first down. Rick Sherrod, the safety, in on the tackle for West Virginia, but again, Miami moves the chains with 11:31 left to go, fourth quarter.
I think that time if Portis would have stayed with his instincts, he had a clear cutback lane to the left side, back up in the middle of the football field. You can't criticize the young freshman running back. He's running tough in there, getting first downs, but I think that's a play, and to your point, Frank, earlier, that James Jackson cuts back and may go out of the end zone.
Next year, Portis scores on that play.
Yeah.
When he's got more experience and more confidence. As it is, it's first down at the 13-yard line. Double tight end still for Miami. Portis again. Mercier out in front. Got a good block. Portis to the 10. Still on his feet and down to the 9-yard line as Chris Edmonds made the stop for West Virginia. Gain of 4. Under 11 minutes now in the fourth quarter and counting. West Virginia leading 20-14. Don Nealon's team up 13-0 at halftime. Look at Clint Portis, the true freshman out of Gainesville, Florida. Had a huge game at East Carolina with 140-plus yards. That's been his only extended action of the year. Did play some against FAMU in the second half, but now seeing real important playing time. On second down, the fake to Portis. Kelly, oh, you can't take a sack there. You got to throw it away. And he's got a guy wide open. It's Bubba Franks, and he's going to score. How did Kenny Kelly get away? He got away from Antoine Lake, and Clinton Portis got the touchdown pass. Excuse me. Clinton Portis with the touchdown.
Frank, I think you scared him.
Oh, my goodness.
You can't take a sack. He said, you know what, you're right, I'm not going to. He backed away from it, did a great job finding Clinton Portis, the freshman tailback. He gets his first catching a reception for a touchdown for the year, but he wanted to go to Bubba Franks to the short side. Kenny Kelly, that's what you get with a Kenny Kelly, especially when he's closer to 100%. He'll elude somebody and make a big play.
Extra point from Crossland. It is up and it is good, and for the first time today, Miami has the lead with 10 minutes and 17 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. It's the Hurricanes 21, West Virginia 20. We'll be back from the Orange Bowl after this. Look at Clinton Portis, his first ever touchdown reception at the University of Miami. Let's take another look. I don't know, John, you said I scared Kenny Kelly. Somehow he kept this play alive.
I think you did. It was a play action. They wanted to go to Bubba Franks to the short side. They had Mondrell Fulcher trailing him to the backside, but you see right there, they can't contain Kenny Kelly. They can't bring him down, and Clinton Portis, I don't know, he was just moving outside after his play action fake, trying to get a good view of what would happen out there. But you see 87, Antoine Lake could not contain Kenny Kelly, and he throws, he finds Clinton Portis all the way past the numbers. Also had McPartland out there. Take your pick, but Portis goes in for the Cane score.
Hey, I want to tell you something. The Rock was here today. I got to tell you something. Kenny Kelly is no Rudy Poo quarterback. He's got some strength. and he stiff-armed Antoine Lake and kept the play alive. That's no Rudy Poo quarterback out there.
It's amazing that he got away from Lake, because Lake, all he had to do was bring Kenny Kelly down for a big play for the Mountaineer defense. You see the scoring drive, 8 plays, 80 yards for this Hurricane team. Portis takes the 9-yard TD reception. Kenny Kelly on the series, 3 for 3 for 46 yards.
Kenny Kelly inaccurate in the first half, and we were critical of him, but another gutty effort so far. Now Crossan will try to kick it deep into the wind. Directional kick to Daniels at the 7, and stumbles up across the 15-yard line, where Aaron Mosier makes sure he stays down. And that's where West Virginia will start 1st and 10.
That was almost an automatic deep pooch kick. Did you see Daniels? He never could get underneath the football.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying before.
Yeah.
If you're going to pooch kick, you pooch into the wind. Here's the total yards today, and a continuation of last week. 119 yards in the first half, Miami, 212 here in the second. And we have 10 minutes and 10 seconds to play.
And you take a look at those statistics, Frank. You know, against BC, you can do that. You know, and against maybe a West Virginia team that's not a West Virginia team that's been dominant, but there's going to be one team down the road at Virginia Tech you're not going to be able to do this to, is play one half of football. And let's hope that Miami can get out of this game with a victory, still getting away with 30 minutes of football.
West Virginia, 4 wide receivers in the game. Chevin Marshall in at middle linebacker for Miami. Bolger with the blitz coming, and whistle sound. No play, no play. I think the 25-second clock expired, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's a flag way back at the 40-yard line.
Prior to the snap, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, that'll cost the Mountaineers 5. And Miami was coming on the blitz on that first down, John.
Yeah, they were coming at Bolger. They know the only way they can get beat now is if Bolger makes big plays out to Corey Ivy and Antonio Brown to the outside. The big tight end, Anthony Beck, has been injured with an ankle injury, and I do not see him in the ballgame. They have 4 wide receivers in now for the Mountaineers.
1st and 15. Bolger, 3-step drop. Now he's going to run it. Bolger slides down at the 18-yard line, so he gets back to penalty yardage. It'll be 2nd and 10. It's the first time he's really had to run today, John.
Yeah, really no other choice but to run the football. Had a 3-step drop, wanted to take the football to the wide side. Nobody there, and on the, you see there on the Miami sideline, I believe that's Art Kehoe and company trying to organize the offensive line. He does a great job with that offensive line. It's really important that the guys come to the sidelines with some input so the coaches can coach.
2nd and 10, West Virginia at their 18. Delay, give to Coburn, and he is going to go nowhere. Sort of that, I'll call it a half Statue of Liberty play that they use very well with Amos Zeroay, but it looked like Al Blades read that one perfectly.
And there no longer is the Miami defensive front getting pushed around, and this defense is into the football game. I think they picked up their intensity quite a bit. You see the white jerseys of West Virginia, their offensive line, everybody's getting stood up and nobody's moving anywhere. The Miami defensive front trying to take control of this football game with 9 minutes left to go.
3rd and 10. Blitz coming. Bolger moving out of the pocket, throwing downfield complete. But it's going to be shy of a first down as Marquise Fitzgerald knocks the wide receiver out of bounds. Catch was made by Ivy, but shy of the first.
Great defensive stand by this Cane defense. 3 plays and out after they go 80 yards to score a touchdown to take the lead for the first time in the game. The defense answers, and they come with pressure on 3rd down.
Yeah, they brought 2 safeties. They brought Blades and Reed, along with Dan Morgan, who is back in the ballgame despite that left hand injury.
Frank, this might be a great opportunity with the win at their back. This punt may travel far enough that Santana Moss may be able to make a big play on special teams.
Fazzolari, low line drive. This is returnable. Moss at his 34. Santana looking for a block. To the outside, Santana Moss in West Virginia territory. Cuts across the grain, flag down back at midfield, and Moss down at the 28-yard line. But this is going to come back to Miami territory. Well, that's unfortunate. But it's going to come back to about the Miami 40-yard line. Here's Dennis Hennigan with the call.
Holding on the return. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First down.
John, you called it. If you outkick your coverage, you're giving Santana Moss a chance to really run one back. And Fazzolari hit a low line drive, and Santana made a great return but a flag at midfield.
Well, great job. He eludes the pressure in the beginning. He eludes the first man, and then he uses his athletic ability. Great blocks on that special teams. Watch the spin move out here. Santana gives the high step on the outside. Watch the spin move right here. He eludes a couple more tacklers and almost is gone. Just a shoestring tackle keeps Santana Moss out of the end zone, but it all comes back for a holding call. 1st and 10 for the Canes on their own 40-yard line.
John, it looked like the guy throwing the block, as soon as he started to throw the block, the defender turned his back as Santana made his cut. 1st down from the 40, double tight end Miami. Fake to Portis. Kelly complete to McPartland, his fullback, who falls up at the 46-yard line. Good play on 1st down, though, picks up 6. And keeps the clock moving with 8:23.
Kenny just checked it down to his outlet receiver. He had Andre King streaking down the near sideline, and he found McPartland in the short side. Kenny Kelly, if you don't have something against this brisk win early, that was a smart move to dump the football off and keep the clock running with 8:06 and counting.
Miami up by 1. 2nd and a long 4. King staying with the double tight end. Flag down. Portis through the hole will get 4. Sensabaugh making the tackle, but it looked like West Virginia was in the neutral zone, John.
Yeah, it may have been Chris Edmonds on the outside, the linebacker on the end of the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was in the neutral zone as the ball was snapped.
Got illegal motion on the offense, offsides on the defense, the penalty's offside, repeat 2nd down.
Well, you heard it, offsetting penalties, so that play never happened. We'll go into a time warp and go back to 2nd and 4.
That's right.
Total yardage, and it's been a turnaround, much like last week at Boston College.
Butch must be, he needs a shot of water right now, because
I'll tell you what, he needs more than water in that thing.
This is tough to take on the sidelines, being a coach of a team that has just been so up and down, and it happens in such a quick instance from 1st half to 2nd half in the last 2 weeks.
West Virginia calls a timeout.
That is their first timeout of the half.
That is their first of this 2nd half. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left to go. A look at Kenny Kelly, Martin Bibble, and the rest of the offense. We're going to take a timeout with 7:40 remaining 4th quarter. Miami hanging on to a 21-20 lead over West Virginia.
The garage is on the wrong side. We got a problem on 36. Mike, get over here. Greg, get down. Jim, I need that cement truck.
Only the Nextel Business Network connects local companies with our digital two-way radio feature, so you can reach who you need faster.
Oh, it's perfect.
Now it's perfect.
Greg, we have a problem.
Nextel, how business gets done.
Watch Saturday Morning College Kickoff every Saturday morning at 10. Join hosts Frank Frangie, Brady Ackerman, and Terry Norville as they preview the day's college football games. It's 60 minutes of television's only pregame show focusing on Florida's college football teams. Preview the Gators, the Hurricanes, and the Seminoles, as well as reports on the University of South Florida, University of Central Florida, FAMU, and Bethune-Cookman. Saturday Morning College Kickoff every Saturday morning at 10, right here on Sports Channel Florida.
Golf Digest presents 50 ways to lower your score.
To get greater distance, turn your right foot out. For a better backswing, don't slide. Turn your hips instead.
Now, lower your score, drive longer, hit straighter, and play your best golf ever with the 50 new stroke-saving tips in every Golf Digest. Call now for your risk-free trial issue. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $19.97. Plus, get this stroke-saving video free.
Call 800-543-6200.
Join the Broward Hurricane Club for hurricane watch parties throughout the football season. Join other Hurricane fans and alumni at Arena Sports Bar, 1135 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and cheer on the Hurricanes. For more information, contact Paul Miller at 561-241-0823. West Virginia spending a timeout, 7 minutes, 40 seconds left to go. 2nd and 4 Hurricanes. Ball just past their own 45-yard line. Miami stays with that double tight end formation. Both tight ends, Franks and Fulcher, to the left. Give us to Portis. Portis could not get around Chris Edmonds, and that's a loss. Lost a couple of yards. It'll bring up 3rd and almost 8.
Yeah, Frank, it almost looked like Chris Edmonds was blocked into the running back, Clinton Portis, on that play. It looked like Joaquin Gonzalez was trying to get the corner, and instead of trying to knock him inside of the pile, knocked him outside right into the running lane of Clinton Portis. And now it brings up a big 3rd down conversion for Miami, 3rd and 8.
And Miami wants a timeout as the play clock was at 19, but I'm not sure they had the right personnel in the game. Not sure they had the right personnel package that they wanted. So Kenny Kelly will walk to the sideline. 7 minutes, 10 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. And, well, for the second week in a row, it's been kind of a wild one, John.
Well, it's been kind of a dead first half for Miami. If you're a Miami fan looking at the football game, you can't figure out why they've been so ineffective offensively and pushed around defensively, and then they come out in the second half and are totally dominant on both sides of the football. Defensively, they've picked up their intensity. I think that's what they've been lacking, and it's hard to put your finger on it, and only the head coach and only that coaching staff can really know the pulse of your football team. And in the beginning of the game last week and this week, as you take a look at Kenny Kelly's numbers, they just didn't come out with emotion, and I think that's the biggest part of a coaching staff. They have to read that and try to find a way to get your players up to play. And Butch Davis, if he could figure it out, would have figured it out earlier than in both halves of the football game.
You know, I watched Miami come on the field beforehand, and there's, the stadium's half full, and I'm not a believer in false emotion, but I do think that you can read something in the body language. And you didn't see the Hurricanes jumping down on each other and slapping helmets. There was a couple of low fives and high fives maybe exchanged, but it just didn't seem like they were really into being out here for a 12 noon kickoff or something. Their body language didn't seem right to me. But they do have a 1-point lead, and now a big 3rd and 8. Kelly steps up into the pocket, delivers high, and caught by Bubba Franks. Wow, what a catch. Inside the West Virginia 46-yard line.
That's the man of the game right there. Bubba Franks, big double snowman. You see number 88 just goes up the ladder and catches the football. Kenny Kelly was high early in this football game, and here he's high again, but Bubba Franks really makes a sensational catch, bats it down with his left hand first, enough to control the football, and then regains his composure to catch it with both hands coming down. Look at that. He just sets the football up and then takes it down to the ground, and a big first down for the Canes with the clock moving at 7:03.
I'll say one thing. It's a good thing Bubba's 6'6".
That's right. 6'5", he doesn't make that kick.
No way. Double tight end again for Miami. Portis just squeezing the football. Oh, he was a fake to Portis, going deep for Moss, and that ball's incomplete at the goal line. Great fake by Kenny Kelly. Fooled me. Scooter Davis had the coverage.
That was the same play they wanted to run on first down the last time they had the football. They hit McPartland, or actually it was on this same series, they hit McPartland on the sidelines. Last time they had Andre King streaking down the field. This time the big playmaker Santana Moss going down. And good coverage on the outside, but a good play by Miami trying to take a shot at a quick score.
Clock stop with 6:56 to go. First incompletion in the last 9 attempts for Kenny Kelly. Now 2nd and 10, still the double tight end formation. Andre King, the only wide receiver. Give to Portis. Portis down across the 45 to the 43-yard line. Bruce Sensabaugh on the tackle for Miami as Martin Bibla and Greg Robinette exchange shoves after the game.
Frank, it always looks like Clinton Portis is one tackle away or one step away from making a big play, and on that play the Mountaineer defense came with pressure. They had just about 9 guys out at the line of scrimmage, and Don Nealon trying to make a play defensively, bringing pressure, and Clinton Portis is one step away. You see the guys coming onto the line of scrimmage. When he cuts it back, he's just one crease away from taking it down the field.
Canes back to the standard personnel package, 2 wide receivers, Wayne and King. King to the top of the screen on a 3rd and 6. Blitz coming. Kelly has Wayne open at the 25, but overthrew him, and he took a big hit. David Carter in there on the blitz. Scooter Davis had the coverage.
Yeah, big time pressure in the face of Kenny Kelly that time. Couldn't hold on to the football any longer. Just tried to make a great timing route to the outside, but overshot his receiver. Credit the Mountaineer defense that time for coming with pressure from the weak side.
One thing Miami hasn't used today, which might have been good in that situation, which they used effectively last week, is the screen pass. Capshaw to kick it away. Perlo Bastine to receive. No. Terrible kick by Capshaw. That's just awful. And it's out at the Miami 37-yard line. That's a 5-yard punt.
Well, you brought up the point last week against BC when Capshaw had a bad punt and shanked it. The punter's always trying to kick it from the short hash to the short side of the field. You know, I don't even care if it's down the middle of the field if you don't want to kick it to the wide side. But
exactly, you kick this ball down the middle of the field against the wind.
I don't even think you can kick it out of the end zone.
I don't understand why you're going for the corner. Look where he's aiming. He's aiming for the corner from the short hash mark. Officially a 1-yard punt. West Virginia at their 42. Give to Coburn. Coburn dragged down by Nate Webster, who held that to a gain of about 2. against the wind, John, you're kicking from the other team's 43 or 44-yard line. Just punt it up down the middle of the field. It's not going to go in the end zone against this wind.
No, I was just going to make that point. With this wind, you could kick it as far and as long as you want to, and I don't think it could reach the Miami Hurricane end zone.
From the 45, 5 minutes, 34 seconds to go. Fake to Coburn. Bulger on the rollout. All kinds of time. Throwing back across, and the ball dropped by Burton, his tight end. West Virginia missing Anthony Beck, their starting tight end. Went out with the bad ankle in the third quarter.
Well, in the heat of battle, Frank, sometimes you make bad decisions. That time Bulger did hit his tight end right in the hands, Sean Burton, number 81. But all alone on the outside, he had Corey Ivy standing on the sidelines. And I think if I had my choices, I would take the tight end. All along, he was locked into the tight end. He never saw Corey Ivy to the outside standing by himself.
3rd and 7 for West Virginia.
Here comes the fade route on the outside that they scored on the first play of the passing play.
Pass to Ivy, complete. He's drilled shy of the first down. Let's see where they'll mark it. Leonard Myers made a great hit. He's about 1.5 yards short of the first.
Yeah, same hand signal on the outside that they scored earlier to Jerry Porter down the Mountaineers sideline. They have a fade route with the inside receivers going to the outside. That time Bulger electing to go to the inside receivers, same side of the field, but it looks like they're going to come up about 1.5 yards short of the first down.
And they are going to go for it. They don't want to give the ball back to Miami with 4 minutes, 52 seconds to play. West Virginia a little confused as to their formation. Mark Plants, the backup fullback, was looking at Bulger going, where am I supposed to be? So West Virginia spends their second timeout. And Don Nealon's not happy about that. Well, I just go back to the punt, John. Two very questionable special teams things today. One, the pooch kickoff, with the wind. And secondly, this is the second week in a row Freddie Capshaw's tried for a coffin corner down where he has little room from the hash mark to a near coffin corner, instead of just hanging the ball up. And it's a tough catch in this wind. You want the guy to handle the ball. You're not trying to knock it out of bounds with this kind of wind. You want the guy to try and handle the ball.
It's almost a pooch punt that would be tough to handle. You're right, Frank, and you have the ball bounce. You never know what can happen on your special teams, but now you're faced with a 4th and 1. West Virginia today, they're 2 of 2 on 4th down. In Miami, with 4:39 left to go in this football game, they have to do a good job here on 4th down, because with all this wind that we said Capshaw was punting into, that wind is going to be at West Virginia's favor. If they get this first down, plenty of time, still with one timeout remaining to get in field goal range. They're only down by a point. A field goal would do it.
I got some advice for Freddie Capshaw and the special teams coordinator, Chuck Pagano. No more pooch kicks from the near hash mark to that side of the field. 4th down. West Virginia has to reach the 47. And flags fly, and I think West Virginia jumped. Well, let's see if this changes Don Nealon's thinking.
I think it will. They were in a too tight, pretty much a running formation or play action.
It appeared to be Terry Dixon, number 72, and they'll send the punt team onto the field.
Not having a good day is big Terry Dixon, number 72. You see him right there. Definitely had his hand down in a 3-point stance and then brought it up, flinched a little bit, and he's about 0 for 3 the last time we've had ISOs on him.
Miami in their punt safe formation as Fazzolari will kick it away with the wind. He too is aiming for that corner. Santana Moss will let it bounce, and it goes into the end zone. Santana Moss not going to make the same mistake Antonio Brown made for West Virginia earlier. Canes will have it. 1st and 10 from their 20. 4:32 left to go. And John, it's imperative that Miami at least squeeze out a couple of first downs.
Well, they have to use the clock here to their advantage. 4:32 left to go. West Virginia only has 1 timeout remaining. 2 first downs would do the trick if they could just get them on the ground and grind it out a little bit. They've had some success running the football in the second half against West Virginia. You see there, Kenny Kelly getting into the football game with some instructions by Rob Trzynski on the sidelines.
And it's still Clinton Portis at tailback. We haven't seen James Jackson here in the 4th quarter. James playing on bad ankles, a bit of a sprained knee, injured his shoulder last week against Boston College, and appeared his lower back took a hit today in this game. There you see the time and score. Canes with the double tight end. Give to Portis. Portis with a nice crease. Portis will have a first down and picks up 14 yards before Barrett Green can make the tackle for the West Virginia defense.
Well, there's a nice cut by Clinton Portis. That's the cut we were talking about on the last possession, that if he makes, he may go to the house. That time, great instinctive running by the freshman running back, and a good job by the Miami offensive front. You see there a lot of white jerseys going backwards. Big number 62, Richard Mercier, doing a nice job down the field, about 5 or 6 yards on his guy. Miami a big first down with 4:12 and counting left to go in this football game.
Rushing yards in each half. Miami has doubled their total from the first. Canes stay with the 2 tight ends. And they give to Portis. Portis will get a couple up across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Held it to a gain of 2. Greg Robinette, number 99, on the tackle for West Virginia.
That time the backside pursuit doing a good job for the Mountaineer defensive front. They're crossing the face of Miami. Looked like they did a nice job controlling the line of scrimmage, but they have to go 3 plays and out if they want another chance to get this football back in decent field position.
Hurricanes with a 2nd and 8. Play clock's down to 11. Now standard personnel for Miami. 2 wide receivers in the game. It's King in motion. Give to Portis. Portis got through a hole up across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Number 11, Gary Tompkins, making the tackle. That'll bring up a 3rd and about 2. UM having to ride the freshman here, as James Jackson apparently unable to go here in this 4th quarter. And Jared Payton in Chicago with his father.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the freshman running back, but he's responding. You see James Jackson, he did get his helmet back, so he's inching closer to getting back onto the football field. But right now, the freshman doing the majority of the work.
Double tight end for Miami on 3rd and 3. And whistle stopped this one. West Virginia moved, and I think Robert Hall came out of his stance.
Yeah, it looked like the left side of the Miami offensive line may have had a jump start on the snap count.
Well, that's a critical penalty right there on Robert Hall, number 77, who's gone most of the way in this second half in place of Greg LaFleur. Looked like Hall and the tight end actually
both
got
of
off
them went
early.
off at the same time, Frank. Now puts Miami in a little bit tougher situation at 3rd and 8 to go. It was a lot easier before the illegal procedure there by Hall.
Yeah, you like 3rd and 2.5 a lot more than 3rd and 8. Still double tight end for Miami. Moss the only wide receiver. Fake to Portis. Kelly on the rollout. Has his man complete to Moss. Inside West Virginia territory. Santana still going. Finally steps out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Huge completion. In fact, I thought Bubba Franks was ready to jump and try to catch that ball.
Yeah, I think Kenny Kelly's just testing the vertical leaping ability of his wide receivers and tight ends. You saw Bubba Franks make a couple catches going up the ladder. This time Santana Moss doing a terrific job. Kenny Kelly getting outside again around Lake, the defensive end, and then look at that catch. He goes up and gets the football. He attacks the football. That's what you like about Santana Moss and the wide receivers for the Canes today. Watch Santana Moss. He goes up and says, hey, this is my football. We need this first down. Watch him go up and get the football. He doesn't let it come to him and beat him up. He goes and gets the football. First down, Hurricanes.
First down, Canes at the West Virginia 43. Fulcher in motion as Miami stays with that double tight end. Here's Portis, carefully picking his way through. Clinton Portis still going. Clinton Portis to the 20, to the 10, and Clinton Portis shoved out at the 1-yard line. Clinton Portis with a 41-yard run. And Miami in business at the West Virginia 1. Scooter Davis saved the touchdown for the time being.
Just when you thought Clinton Portis was going to keep taking those little baby steps with 2 hands over the football, he breaks out of the pack. Clinton Portis did a nice job. Kenny Kelly eyeing that 25-second clock so he can milk it as long as he can. Watch Clinton Portis. He gets through the first wave, then he protects the football. He's bobbing and weaving. Now he goes into a full sprint. He says, I think I can get to the end zone. He does a nice job. Scooter Davis pushes the freshman running back out at the 1-foot line, but a nice job by Portis picking his way through would-be tacklers. 16 rushes, 105 yards, and a 6.6 average. Look for him to go in.
From the 1. Portis. Easy touchdown over the top. With a minute 49 to go, Clinton Portis puts the Hurricanes off 27-20.
Well, give this Miami Hurricane team credit. They've only played one half of football 2 weeks in a row, and it's looks like good enough to get 2 victories. Clinton Portis, the freshman, taking it in from a yard out. Really, West Virginia laying down on that goal line, and Miami beat him down in the second half, doing a nice job offensively with that offensive line, beating West Virginia to the punch. Miami 27, West Virginia 20.
Andy Crossland in to attempt the extra point. There's a minute 49 to go. Crossland's extra point is good. And that is important because now it takes a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this game. Clinton Portis, let's take one more look at this run and watch the block on the inside. I'm not sure who did it, but he collapsed number 43.
Take a look at the line of scrimmage. Just a great job.
Eric
Richard
Schnupp,
Mercier
55,
and Eric
56.
Schnupp did a nice job in front. You see Ty Wise still being active down the field. That's what you have to do. When you have good running backs, the offensive line and wide receivers have to stay alive because you never know when they're going to break them. And here, West Virginia just quits at the line of scrimmage. You see 43, one of the linebackers, he doesn't even look like he wants to play anymore. Ryan Brady, the outside rush end, he takes one block from the right side and just kind of gives up.
Turns his back,
hurdles over for the touchdown. West Virginia's beat.
I'm sorry, John, I'll tell you what, on the play before, Eric Schnupp just buried him. He buried Brady. So we got to give props to Eric Schnupp, who, by the way, is a big Rock fan. During the week, he did his best Rock imitation. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? And he did the, can you smell the whole deal? So Eric Schnupp with a good job. And Clinton Portis, the freshman, it's his second 100-yard game of his young career. The first one kind of went by the boards because they lost East Carolina. Hopefully, this 100-yard game is going to mean a lot more. Andy Crossland will kick it off. Sean Terry, Lewis Daniels back to receive for West Virginia. Don Nealon has had some heartbreaking losses to the Hurricanes in the last couple of years, both at Morgantown. Of course, the famous block punt by Tremaine Mack. And then last year when the Canes put together a last-minute drive. That's a great kickoff against the wind. This is Daniels from the goal line. Got away from Darrell Arlene, but will not reach the 20-yard line. Javon Rhodes and Ken Dangerfield, number 50 and 47, making the tackle for the Hurricanes. So West Virginia will start basically at their 20-yard line. That, by the way, a great kick by Crossland against the wind.
Well, you're going to see what Miami's defensive secondary can do all day. The Miami front has not gotten to the quarterback for West Virginia, Mark Bolger. Now they're going to be in a hurry-up mode. Hurry-up offense is West Virginia. Let's see if Miami can put up the pressure, turn the pressure up on Bolger in this Mountaineer pass attack.
Mountaineers with 4 wide receivers. Miami in their dime defensive package with 6 defensive backs. Blitz coming from Popovich. Throw to the outside, complete to Porter. He got away, and Porter run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And a flag down.
That's 15, too.
Oh, now that's a terrible call. All he did was try to punch the ball out. That's a terrible call.
I think they're calling him for tackling him out of bounds instead of maybe punching the football. It looked like he was on the tarp on the outside. Now we'll have to see that again to see if it was a legitimate call, but it was definitely a personal foul called at the end of that play.
The play was over. Personal foul on the defense. 15 yards. First down.
That'll put it at midfield. Let's take one more look at Marquise Fitzgerald. Yeah, he should have let him go. He should have let go with the left hand.
Yeah, that's a penalty.
He should have let go with the left hand. First down at the 50. Bulger out of the shotgun. Quick pass to Asageda, complete at the 44. Pickup of 6. That's just a penalty, John, you can't take. You simply cannot take it. And there was a missed tackle on the route, which turned a 7-yard gain into a 15-yard gain. 1:22 left to go. Bulger again out of the shotgun. Quickly outside. Pass is caught by Asageda, and he took a huge hit. And now they're calling it incomplete. And he juggled the football. Leonard Myers just really blew him up.
It almost looked like West Virginia was going to bait Leonard Myers on a hitch and go because Myers in a full sprint from about 12 yards up. He had huge cushion on the near side. Bulger just a quick step out of the shotgun, and then he just gets delivered a punch. Myers did on the near sideline of West Virginia. Can't tell if he bobbles the football. Looks like the ball came out, and that was a good call by the official on the West Virginia sideline.
3rd and 4. Bulger in the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. 3-step drop, complete to Ivy, and then he dropped it. And again, Leonard Myers there for the hit. It's fourth down.
Intended for Ivan.
1 minute, 9 seconds left to go.
Miami dropping about 8 personnel defenders in the secondary that time. It looked like one of the defensive linemen / linebackers for Miami, number 55, Jamal Green, was lined up on the inside. He drops back, so Miami rushing 3 and dropping 8.
They got 3 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 6 defensive backs in the game. 4 wideouts for West Virginia. 4th and 4. Bulger steps up, throws, complete, and Porter got away, and he's going to have a first down. Leonard Myers had him right at the first down marker, but he got away, and West Virginia has life at the Miami 38.
Well, Porter's a big receiver, 6'3", 215. He's a senior now. Frank, remember, we mentioned he was a defensive back 2.5 weeks ago. He's a big body. You see the timeouts, West Virginia with 1 timeout remaining and 56 seconds and counting left to go in the game.
Bulger, again to the outside, a little too far for Asageda. It's that same kind of route they scored the touchdown on in the first quarter.
Yeah, this time Miami outblades taking the good angle on the defensive secondary. They should have a good angle. They have 8 guys, at least 8 guys in the secondary dropping, so Miami should be able to prevent the outside pass.
51 seconds to go. 2nd and 10 from the Hurricane 38. Miami up 28-20. 4 wideouts in for West Virginia, staying with the same personnel group. Bulger steps up in the pocket, delivers over the middle, incomplete to Coburn at the 33.
Bulger fast.
And Bulger was nearly past the line of scrimmage when he got rid of that ball. I think he just was about a half a yard behind it.
He almost was going to take off with the football, and I think he realized he might not make the first down, so the clock would continue to run. So he tried to throw the football to Coburn, coming on a delay route underneath, just a check down, and he kind of threw it behind him and a little too hard.
3rd and 10, West Virginia at the Miami 38. Still with the 4 wideouts. Bulger out of the shotgun. Over the middle, pass is caught. That's an excellent catch by Sean Terry, and it is a first down as Popovich was in good position, but Terry snatched the ball away from him.
That's putting the ball in the perfect position. Mark Bulger, very accurate passer, does a nice job of throwing it over the middle. He's controlling the linebackers with his eyes, waiting for his receivers to get in those holes, those zones in the middle of the Miami defense. That's just a good throw and a good catch. Miami couldn't do anything about that. They were in the perfect position to defend the pass.
They're going to measure for a first down, although it appears from our angle that he has it.
Yeah, it looked like he had it by at least the length of the football, Frank.
And Miami has chosen to sit back in their zone and not put a lot of pressure on Bulger. And I know it's risky, but you let this kid stand back there and he can pick you apart. Although the Hurricanes do have 3 interceptions today on Bulger. They'd love to make it 4 from the 28. Give to Coburn. Coburn to the 24. Webster and Morgan to tackle. Gain was only 4, and that's going to run some more time. They're down to 27, 26 seconds.
Well, they have to either spike the football or call a timeout. Looks like they're going to spike it.
They do spike it, and that stops the clock with 20 ticks left. It'll be a 2nd and 6 from the Miami 24-yard line. So this one going right down to the wire. Miami 28, West Virginia 20. Frank Fort and John Kajemi with you on Sports Channel. Miami trailed this game 13-0 at halftime, and just like last week at Boston College, appeared to have no emotion or nothing going for them, but they've responded in the second half. Let's see if they can hold off West Virginia. Bulger, bad snap. Bulger forced to run around, throws to the outside, caught by Porter at the 20-yard line. He's down 2 yards shy of a first down. And West Virginia uses a timeout with 12 seconds left.
Well, West Virginia very lucky. Looked like the quarterback, Mark Bulger, wasn't ready for the snap from the center from John Conte, and actually did a great job of locating the football and finding a wide receiver, found Jerry Porter on the near side, but clearly Bulger looking to the right side, looking at the defense. He wasn't ready for the ball, scoops up the ball, runs almost into the Miami defensive pass rush, and then actually completes the pass out to Porter. A heads-up play by the senior quarterback, a nice throw. They had to burn a timeout because of the miscommunications between Conte and Bulger, but they made a positive play. It could have been disaster for the Mountaineers.
12 seconds left. It's 4th and about 2.5 yards. West Virginia's got to get down to between the 18 and 17-yard line, and the Mountaineers are out of timeouts. Now, they can't stop the clock if they get a first down.
Well, even if they get this first down, Frank, they have to, the clock will stop to set the chains. They have to get on the line of scrimmage and run another play. So that's what the offensive staff for West Virginia talking about. Miami trying to talk about, if they do get a first down, take your time defensively up front getting to the line of scrimmage, but get into the defensive set, get in your place that you're supposed to be, get with the coverage you want to be in, because Bolger can hurt you, and it's only going to take one pass play. They probably have time for just 2 more offensive plays if they make a first down.
4th and 2 at the Miami 20. Still 4 wideouts in for West Virginia. Terry in motion. Bolger on the dash. Throw into the end zone, and that ball is intercepted at the 1-yard line. Leonard Myers with his 2nd pick of the day, and the 4th for the Miami Hurricanes. And this one is going to be in the books with a Miami victory at 28-20.
Well, Miami did it with defense and offense. They came together in the second half. A nice job of the defense there. Myers coming up with the interception. A great defensive stand down at the end of the game.
I'm sorry, it was Marquise Fitzgerald, number 27, not 22, who made the pick. Let's take another look at the interception, and that is the first of Marquise Fitzgerald's career.
They wanted to go to the flat, West Virginia did. They're actually sprinting to the outside, but I don't know why Bolger decided to throw the football up in the air. I guess it was good coverage underneath by Dan Morgan on Terry, and it looked like Marquise Fitzgerald gets the football. It's a jump ball at the goal line. Marquise Fitzgerald wins the battle. Bolger ends up not coming through in the clutch for West Virginia, and it's a defeat for the Mountaineers.
Kenny Kelly will just take it on a quarterback sneak, get a couple of yards, and that'll do it. 3, 2, 1, and Miami has pulled out another one, trailing 13-0 at halftime. The Hurricanes come back and beat the West Virginia Mountaineers by a score of 28-20. Don Nalen walks across to shake Butch Davis's hands. And the Hurricanes, John, for the 2nd week in a row, pull one out of the fire.
Well, they play 30 minutes of football. Our graphic couldn't have said it better. They come out in the second half, and total yards, I'm not sure what it was, but it was well over 200 yards of offense for Miami. The defense comes out and does a great job. Well over 300 yards of offense for the University of Miami in the second half. They do a great job holding the Mountaineers to only 1 score in the second half, and you can't say enough about the determination Miami showed in that second half, Frank. They came out with a different attitude and came out with a victory.
A look at one of the heroes, Clinton Portis. We'll be back to wrap it up from the Orange Bowl. Your final score once again, the Hurricanes 28, West Virginia 20. Business is crazy, but Office Depot makes sense. By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Heineken, brewed the same way since 1886. And by Bell South, with crystal clear wireless phone service at a great price. Back at the Orange Bowl, where the Miami Hurricanes have defeated the Mountaineers of West Virginia by a final of 28-20. Frank Fort and John Kajemi with you. And John, I can just hear Steven Tyler and Aerosmith, the strains of Living on the Edge, because that's what the Hurricanes are doing. 2nd week in a row, coming back from a halftime deficit, a significant halftime deficit, and winning the game 28-20.
The Hurricanes are way out on the edge, Frank. They played 30 minutes of football last week, and it was good enough for a victory today. They played 30 minutes of football in the second half again, and it's good enough for an 8-point victory against the Mountaineers of West Virginia. You have to credit the defense. They did a great job coming 3 plays and out on the first series of the third quarter, and the offense answered the bell. The freshman Portis running wild in the fourth quarter, doing a nice job of converting from 1 yard out. But, hey, it's a team effort, and you have to credit Butch Davis and the coaching staff. They found a way to win for the 2nd week in a row.
Let's pick it up with Miami trailing 20-14, and Clinton Portis in the game for James Jackson, who's been playing banged up. And Portis, the freshman, 17 carries, 106 yards. This 41-yard run, great blocking from Robert Hall, Eric Schnupp, Ty Wise, Richard Mercier, and Joaquin Gonzalez, and this set up the Hurricanes for what turned out to be the clinching touchdown.
Oh, it was a great patient run. You know, a lot of white jerseys going backwards, and Clinton Portis just picking and bobbing and weaving to the inside of those big bodies, and it all set up the touchdown from 1 yard out for Miami to go to the 28-20 lead. And then you see Bolger on 4th down and about a yard and a half to go, just throws it up for grabs in the Miami end zone, and it comes down. Marquise Fitzgerald, number 27, at the goal line. The last turnover of the Miami defense. They do a great job of keeping West Virginia out of the end zone when it counted most.
West Virginia held to 85 yards on the ground. Miami 167. Good passing yardage for Bulger, but he threw 4 interceptions to the Miami defense. Miami D coming up with 5 turnovers in all. Look at the yardage in the second half, John. 314 for Miami. Kenny Kelly playing on that bad left ankle. An outstanding second half.
Well, in the Big East Conference, Miami should be able to do this to teams. If they put 2 halves together, they're going to be able to win football games. They cannot do this against Virginia Tech, though. They're going to have to learn to play 60 minutes of football and air-free football if they're going to have a chance to win the Big East Conference.
And unofficially, Kelly 21 of 33, 266 with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Thanks for joining us here at the Orange Bowl. Catch more University of Miami football on Sports Channel next Saturday, November 6th at 11:30 p.m. when the Hurricanes battle the Pittsburgh Panthers in a Big East game. Football fans, don't miss Sports Channel's Sunday morning playbook. It's kickoff at 8:30 with the Dolphin Magazine, followed by the Tom Coughlin Show at 9 and the Jimmy Johnson Show at 9:30. Then at 10, it's an hour and a half of in-depth NFL pregame coverage on Sunday morning NFL. That's all right here on Sports Channel. For my broadcast partner and future member of the PGA Senior Tour, John Congemi, I'm Frank Fort saying goodbye. And the final score once again, Miami Hurricanes 28, West Virginia 20. So long, everyone.